Yes, your audio sounds pretty good now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, sorry about last week. I think at that time I was probably at a en route rest stop sleeping.
I figured you mustn't have got it done when you were hoping or planning.
No, I was working till like mid-afternoon Wednesday, and I had another job starting Thursday, so I had to book because they were putting the house up on the Friday, so that they had stagers and photos coming in, so it was like down to the wire. So it was pretty aggressive timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did it. We hammered it.
It's not what you want, but you do what you got to do.
Exactly. So it was good, all good. It was a good time. All stressful. They had a punch list that was like pages and pages trying to get everything going because they were away for like months. They were living out west.
Okay, yeah.
And then they came back to get everything ready. So it was kind of bedlam for a little while there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everything's done. Everybody's
Good.
Relaxed now. I think I finally caught up sleep.
You think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Hey, Rob. Thanks, guys. Hey, Jesse. What's up, gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I think Matt said he'd be getting on, and Thomas said he'd be getting on. I don't know if Big Shot Kevin's gonna make it tonight.
But he didn't comment.
No, I didn't comment. He's probably busy. He's a working man.
Oh,
He's a
no,
working man.
He read the message at least.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
that's cool.
He does better than some of us for not always being on this social media.
This is true. Mr. Dan Castillo. Good evening, sir. All right. I think we are going to go live. So stay tuned. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to fire up the old intro. Stand by. Hey. Welcome to episode 21. 1 week late. Sorry I missed last week. I was driving back from work in Toronto and I wasn't able to make it back in time. Actually, I was probably sleeping at a rest stop while this was taking place. So I apologize for that. But we are back. We are going to get the gang together, talk about their past weekend experience shooting the NRS match in Magneto One. I heard I missed a great one. Lots of sweat. Lots of bugs. I was watching the match recaps from Womfat. If you haven't found out, if you've been living in a cave for the last few years and haven't discovered it, Womfat, look up Womfat. That's Matt Huey's channel. Does a recap on day 1 and day 2, and also saw the sad update on his 360. So hopefully that gets sorted out soon. Rimfire Nation Podcast is proudly brought to you by Tesro.ca. Past episodes are available on all the normal podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and also available on the Canadian Rimfire Precision Series YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Spread the word. As always, we always take the first few minutes to check out the new products at Tesro, and Tesro did not disappoint. He's got a lot of goodies. And this week he's got, hang on, what am I doing here? Share. Nope, no, I keep doing the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. It's like I haven't done this in a long time. Just arrived. You always check out the just arrived stage. Oh, I was actually checking out. Let's go back to the beginning of the just arrived. So he's got CZ457 American combos. So you get 2 for the price of 1.5. 22 LR and 17 HMR. So you get the mini set. So you've got a 17 HMR barrel and mag and a 22 LR barrel and mag with that price of $7.99. I was also on to Asmir about getting some more magazines, because for rimfire race guns, you should have 5 mags so that you can run 5 sequential runs without having to reload. You don't have to have 5, but it's always easier if you do. That way you don't have to wait for someone to reload your mags for you. And I see that he's got the P9 Cadet adapter for 22 LR, so you can convert your CZ P9 to a 22, or you can just buy the CZ P9 Cadet for $699, I think. I haven't seen it recently. And then he's got the 457 Varmint 22 LR mini set for $209. So if you got your, actually, if it was a 17-inch, I'd be super excited. But hang on one sec, I'll get Matt. Hey, Matt, welcome. I'm just going through the just arrived at Tesro.
Oh,
and
awesome.
He's got his BDX 124 grain FMJ 9mm for $120. And all the CRKTs are there. I've been cruising, and I think I've discovered my next, aside from that CEO bamboo, because I've got the G10 version. I will likely get the bamboo folder because I think it's just cool. It's good to have options. And I just noticed that CRKT dually slip joint folder, kind of a nice little stubby knife, which could be my next pickup. What I like about CRKT is got a lot of different designs, and they're not super expensive, and they're knives. You sharpen them, they cut. If you don't sharpen them, they get dull. So that's what I like about CRKT: affordability and variety. Hey, welcome, Thomas. And that's it from the just arrived. Always just check out Tesro.ca just arrived to find out all the cool things he's got. I still want that kinetic karambit. Where is that one? I think I keep showing this every time. Like this Provoke Orange kinematic folder. It's just, I'm pretty sure I'd lose a fingertip if I played around with that. Anyway, something to work toward. Hey, gentlemen. Welcome. Sorry I missed you guys last week. You guys look pretty fresh, recovered from Magneto One. I heard it was bad. I was watching Matt's recap when that bug landed on the camera. I said, "Is that actual size?" It's probably actual size.
Yeah, it's basically that size. They were huge, man.
You should put a harness on it, train it to fly your gear around.
Yeah, no, the bugs there were out in full force.
Yeah. So. And I'm hoping Kevin can. Did Kevin actually deploy his cart?
Yeah, he did.
How did that work out?
It was fine. Yeah, the train there wasn't bad. There was just a small section of mud that had some pallets put over it, so you just had to lift it over that. But,
nice.
But the rest
not too bad.
Was okay. Yeah.
So why don't we go around the room and talk about how you guys sorted out the gear and whether it worked or not worked, and what would you change? Hey, John, why don't we start with you? What was your strategy? Your usual hunting rig, or did you try and change it up because you wanted more stuff?
Just the same, actually. Yeah, pretty much the same. I did not carry the sticky game changer this time. I had carried it. I think I've carried it once since I got the heavy. So I eliminated all my bags.
Really?
Except for the heavy game changer and the bump pillow, but once again, I never used it. So I don't know. One of these days, I'm going to leave it at home too. But otherwise, no, I just stuck with my usual.
And did you miss anything?
A friend of mine came with me, Kevin, and Kevin, so many Kevins, but he actually carried my drink jug and our food. So we kind of split the load between two.
You brought a caddy. That's pretty nice.
I mean, you split your load between two.
Well, he had to carry his own ammo.
Yeah. All half.
But we shared. We shared bags, So
okay. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. That's actually pretty smart. Like you you share binos, you share tripods, you share bags. That's pretty. Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it. But binos, no. I think both guys should carry their own. But
yeah, that's true.
Like bags, really, you're not going to be both shooting same time. So why not?
That's true. That's true. Did you? Would you change anything? Add, take away?
Not for gear.
What? No. How'd your match go for you? Did you? Were you able to hold up? You only shot one day, right?
I just shot the Saturday.
Okay.
It didn't go very good.
No?
this kid, this sounds wrong. I placed sixth, but it yeah, I know. I say that, but
we understand though. We understand.
It sounds bad, but it's the truth. I didn't do very good. I was in the wrong mental space starting, and after the first stages, I believe I was behind 5 points.
Okay.
And I never recovered that. So at the end, I was the 5 points behind Kevin, and I earned that in the first 4 stages. And at that point, I knew I was done. I'm out of the running.
Oh, see.
Settle down and start shooting. Still didn't do perfect, but it was a real, for me, like, I haven't been thinking a lot about gear the last while. I've been just thinking about the mental stuff, and it was a real eye opener for me because I've been studying the mental and really been thinking about it and focusing on it. Yeah. And then, so I had a more knowledge and more understanding of the mental part going into this match than I did previously.
Right.
And then I created my own downfalls. But I could see it now. It's like click, 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 right? This thing about as soon as I knew I was out of the standing, then all of a sudden I could start focusing better. It's like that's a mental thing. I identified it. I can see it now. It's perfectly clear.
So you weren't focusing on the right things to begin with.
Exactly. I was trying very, very hard to not let myself think about winning. And so I had this huge mental battle. Don't think, right? And it's trying to think, and I should have let those thoughts go through my mind and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And I spent the morning as a mental struggle, and so I couldn't focus.
Now, what squad were you with? Did you have some buddies with you?
Matt and Thomas and Pascal, Kevin,
Kevin and Kevin,
Avery. Kevin and Kevin.
That's a pretty good lighthearted group.
We had and Adrian.
Oh yeah,
and Colin. Colin was there too.
Colin. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had the super squad, man.
We had an awesome group of guys for sure.
You had squad 2.
Yeah. No, we were better than that.
Whoa. Nice. Yeah. Well, at least you understand kind of where you kind of got a little derailed there. But
yeah, it was a lot of light bulb moments. So really, for me, I was feeling a little bummed out at the end because I could so clearly see what I did. But then, give it a few days processing and looking back, it's like, man, there's a lot of things that I noticed that I just never caught on to before. So really, it's a good thing.
Like what? Did you have an example, or is that too far?
Well, the one was the starting and not letting my brain think its thoughts and clearing them out. And the other was time management. Like I tend to shoot fast.
Right.
But I caught on, there's times that I shot fast when I should never have done it. And one that really stands out was the tiebreaker stage and the trigger. I had 8 out of 10 impacts in 81 seconds. Yeah. Yannick won with 8 out of 10 in 62 seconds.
Yeah.
And those 2 shots that I missed because I was going too fast and I did not stop and think about the wind. And all I had to do was take 20 more seconds and I would have cleaned that stage.
Right.
So you shot that stage twice technically. Because we had a reshoot because we had it was the time stage and we had a malfunction with the shot timer. So he had a reshoot too. Yeah.
Nice.
So I had no excuses, but this thing, as soon as it's timed, you want to go, and I shoot fast, so I just started, So it was Just
I think the bottom line there is that if you think you can clean it, take your time and clean it.
And then to actually do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I put a timer on my phone like Kevin does, and I've been practicing a bit with it out here. And that's what started also making light bulbs click, because I'm shooting and then I look at the time, and yeah, I got a lot of work to do on that. So
that's good. And you're shooting the Rimex still with the Minox?
Still shooting the Rimex, the Minox in the ACC. Yeah,
the standard Gingrich package. Cool.
Yep. See if it stays that. Or I got the final invoice for the Deuce. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So is that's inbound?
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to see.
It's outbound anyway. Yeah. So it's getting sent to IBI directly from Ultimatum, and it's going to get rebarreled to 1 in 12. So
nice.
It'll be a few weeks before I see it yet. But,
fingers crossed. I'm sure you're going to be putting a few thousand rounds through that as soon as you get it.
Yeah, probably.
We'll set aside a special episode for that.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Dropping the deuce.
Yeah. Tony wonders about extraction issues. I have 0 extraction issues. Out of the 8,400 rounds I think I'm at, I'd have to look. I've had probably 4 failures to extract, and all of those were undersized rims. And my issue that I do have is when the main extractor gets wore out, then you get weak ejection. So you have to keep it very clean and run the bolt quickly. At the Magneto One match, I did not have any failures. I've never had a failure in a match ever with anything. So I do trust it, but I would say the fixed extractors only last perfectly for around 3,000 rounds. But they are changing the metal.
Which for a lot of users would be okay. 3,000 rounds. That's a season.
And even at that, because unless a person is shooting it all of the time, they would not actually have caught on that their ejection is getting weaker. Yeah. Like this extractor, I'm at 5,500 rounds now, and you probably wouldn't think about it unless you knew how it ejected before.
Right. Now, are you cycling it pretty hard, or
no?
Or you are those sniper type, just flicking it back and
I do tend. I don't know. I guess maybe somebody else should judge. I do not aggressively run a bolt.
All right. Do we have any footage of John, Matt? Do you have any footage of John?
I do actually. Yeah, I can send it to you later.
Or did you only shoot your cool kids?
No, he's in a few clips, but I do have some full stages of him shooting.
I'm just out of curiosity. No worries.
No, John doesn't really run the bolt.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Like he doesn't do it daintily or slowly, but I wouldn't say he's aggressive with the bolt either.
Right.
Yeah, I would say I run the bolt harder than John does in general.
And how are your ejection patterns, Matt?
My ejection patterns.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, I have.
I know.
I have discovered that my Voodoo has some issues that I'm trying to sort out. But I am in contact, with Voodoo. I'm trying to get it sorted out. But I mean, people were asking me, the first 2 matches with my Voodoo, everyone wants to know how it's running. So I was like, I'm just going to make a video and I'll be very transparent about the issues I'm having. So if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, you can check my YouTube channel. Right. So anyway, I hope the fix is simple enough where I can get back on it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else, John, before we swap over to Matt? Sorry. Did you have a good time? Do you regret not shooting the Sunday? Would you feel that you'd be better prepared going into Sunday, having had the experience of Saturday?
I definitely would have been. Yeah.
Okay.
100%. But I think it was good for me to just leave it at that and do some thinking.
Yeah.
That is my week.
That's like once you get a certain level, it's mental management that separates the podium finishers from the top 10 guys, right? That's really what it is. I've seen it time and time again. Like Maple Seed, we see it. The guys that are cool and listen and keep applying it get the desired objective. The guys that are grinding away at trying to make it happen, losing all of the lessons about the process versus the objective, then
and you know what else you need for top spots is a reliable rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
you do. You had one, Matt.
I did have one. It's actually this one right here. good old faithful CZ457.
Yeah. The other one's in the penalty box. You do not come out until you behave, until you play well with others.
Yeah, precisely. That's exactly
these fancy ones. They have an attitude to them.
Well, they're temperamental. That's like the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. They require a very high state of tune. You have to have like extractors, in a little case, so you can swap them out every fifth mag. Yeah. Okay, man. How about you, man? Gear wise, what was your strategy for lugging all that equipment, and what did you like? What you didn't like? What would you change? What did you miss?
It was pretty simple for me. I got a Eberle stock pack,
nice.
And I think it was in the winter or early spring. So that has like a nice rifle scabbard, which, funny enough, I didn't really use that often because they make it look so easy in the videos. Oh yeah, just throw your rifle in the pack and then pull it out. It's like, okay, well, it's more of a process than just chucking it in the scabbard. But I packed fairly minimally, like just my Kev Fat, my barricade bag, and my pump pillow, which doesn't weigh anything, and ammo, essentially. And most of the weight was probably the water and Gatorade I was carrying.
Right.
Yeah, because it was kind of hot. And besides that, didn't really have... I only brought one tripod.
That's good.
And the camera stuff, so yeah. I shot Saturday pretty... I was disappointed with how I shot, I'll put it that way. And it was mostly due to the wind calls. Tony actually mentioned the wind reading separated the top 10. I wasn't in the top 10, but I would say the wind reading is what got me on day one. And I know I shot at least like 3 stages in pretty switchy headwinds as well. So as soon as you read the wrong side, you're out a couple of points.
So. Was the wind consistent both days, or
no? It was more tricky Saturday, I would say, for me anyway. Right, and it's kind of difficult as well because the firing line is so long and it's such a large field that throughout the day different squads are going to experience much different conditions depending when they're shooting each stage. So Saturday was a lot more tough for me. Sunday, Dan here says it was nasty on Saturday. I agree. Sunday was a lot better. I placed I want to say 8th, I think, top 10, somewhere in there, 8th or 9th. But the wind, I would say it was about the same in terms of the strength of wind, but it was in a consistent direction, which I can read much better. So I managed to do a lot better on the second day. And I was kind of glad it was 2 matches back to back because the first match I was kind of using it as a warm-up match, I guess, after I shot some pretty important stages. I said, I'm just going to try and have fun. And the second day I kind of took it a little bit more seriously, and I managed to pull off some better stages.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, whatever makes you happy, man. Like, well, that was just a practice match. This is the one that counts now.
I kept telling myself on Saturday, I was like, you know what? Like, don't get too emotional or whatever about it, because you still have tomorrow, right? You got that day afterwards to look forward to.
That's right.
So, although I was worried because after day one, it was pretty hot, and I was like, I'm feeling pretty exhausted. Like, I don't even know if I can walk the full line tomorrow. But funny enough, after Sunday, I felt better than after Saturday physically. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I wasn't as exhausted.
Huh. Nerves. Hey, did you get that Trigger Tech hat from that weekend?
I did. Yeah, I'm wearing it right now because
it's nice.
Funny enough, I was very tempted to upgrade because I just have like the cheapest Trigger Tech in my Voodoo.
Yeah,
I was talking to the guy. Yeah, so I was going to go to a special, but I don't know if it's luckily or unluckily, but they packed up the tent and left before I could go back and buy it. So,
that's too bad.
I guess they saved me money.
Nice. Perfect. Any other gear-related stuff? We'll get back to the match after. We're just kind of talking about, I knowing there was a lot of walking, a lot of people got tired out. Yeah, did you miss anything, or were you missing anything? Wish you brought something, or didn't need something?
I did recently get a wind vane from my Kestrel.
Yeah,
you can see it in some of the footage, but it worked quite well because it gives you value and direction, obviously. So the whole squad, especially on the second day more so, we were all kind of relying on it for wind calls. Worked pretty well. Yeah.
Did you have a HUD? You didn't have a HUD.
No. It's the cheapest Kestrel. It's the 1000. It only does wind and nothing else, but you can get a little wind vane so you can see the direction and whatnot.
Nice. Oh, Dan's got a single stage diamond.
Ooh, Dan, is it a flat trigger? Because then we can. You can message me later.
Yeah. First you had my interest. Now you have my attention.
Yeah, but I will say the Trigger Tech deals were insane because they were selling their stuff at the match at 50% off, which is like,
whoa.
Yeah, you never see that, right?
You never see that.
Yeah, and they were giving free hats,
really?
Which is pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
so
that's nice.
And snacks and water, so they were surrounding us real good. Yep.
Wow.
Sponsored with some food and Gatorade, so that was very
awesome.
appreciated.
That's awesome. Those guys are a class act.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they're Canadian, which I really like.
They are Canadian. Yeah. Was Mark there? Or
yeah,
I believe it was Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. It was Mark. Which interestingly, he has a deuce on order as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's good. Awesome. Anything else, Matt? Before we switch to Thomas, then we'll go back and talk about the day.
Nothing more gear related. I will say though, because you mentioned you may come to pick up this tripod for me.
Yeah.
In my head, I wrote it up. I said, okay, I don't own this tripod anymore. I'm just going to use my own gear. But you never came. So.
No, sorry. Yeah. I thought I said it was going to be a maybe, but anyway, that was wishful thinking on my part.
Yeah.
Sunday. Anyway, Thomas, you've got upgraded. Your living accommodations has been upgraded from.
This has been a COVID project. My office was in a different room before, but the kids and my wife now share the bigger office, and I moved down here where it's a little cooler. And nice. So I've assembled some shelves and started sort of filling out my books. But it's been it was a mess before. It's still a mess on that side too. Anyway,
how was your day? What was your strategy for gear?
So I've been paring down on gear. I'm really happy because basically I didn't have to borrow anything, which means I didn't run out of anything, and I've used everything that was in my pack other than the rangefinder, and I would not leave the rangefinder behind.
So what were you carrying? What did you have?
Sticky game changer, the small, the pint size. The Kev Fat, which I think I used this sticky game changer only once, maybe twice. Everything else was run on the Kev Fat. Bipod really just to hold a rifle in between stages. Other than that, what do I have in there? My Kestrel and food and water. That's pretty much it at this point.
Hey, for those who aren't familiar, hey, Matt, do you have a Kev Fat you could put on screen or Thomas?
I don't have one.
Are you guys still selling?
I have a plate here.
Are you guys still selling those things?
I only have one left in inventory. Whoever gets first gets the last one.
Are you guys making more, or is that the final?
We don't have plans to, but we always take them in bulk orders. So once we have 10 orders, we'll make it. But I'm not just going to make a single one because it's a lot more efficient if I make a batch at a time.
For sure. So the Kev Fat bag is basically that plate with an Arca clamp and a small brick bag that goes on it for barricades, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we originally designed it for a tripod. So you only need to move your rifle, and the bag will stay attached to it, and you can use tripod. But I will say I use it in probably 90% of the stages now, even if I'm not using a tripod, because it's just easier. You see on all my match footage, I'm hardly ever using my barricade bag. I will say though, the barricade bag is slightly more stable than the Kev Fat.
Yeah.
Because it kind of nestles the rifle.
Yeah.
But it's such a negligible thing usually that I usually run the Kev Fat.
Yeah. Well, if your rifle's balanced, then it's less of an issue, I think.
Yeah. So I think Thomas. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Thomas has a limited edition one, by the way. You will not get a red plate.
The red plate.
You have to know people to get the red and black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which makes me wish I was a fan of Canadian football because I live in the city of the red and black. But,
there you go.
So
you can see the Arca clamp at the top just mounts onto the rail on the front, so it stays attached to your rifle. Yeah, and the bag is filled perfectly so that it'll never bottom out, but it can still kind of conform to any barricade shape.
Filled perfectly. Those are big claims, Matt.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a good bag. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of us using it now, and we've sold I think 15 units or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
And this is a little Robert Gordon trick, but I use the plate. Well, he recommended to use the plate sometimes just on top of the sticky. And there's enough friction between, the barricade and the bag, you can really load into it. And it's quite helpful for a lot of stages.
Nice.
Excellent tool. Didn't really use anything else really.
And what are you shooting now? What's your configuration, Thomas?
So I said I did exactly what I said I was not going to do.
Because I keep losing track of the things you're not going to do, but you end up doing, and then you say you're going to do something, but you don't do something. So where are we now?
Something came in the mail for Thomas 2 days before the match.
No,
literally on Wednesday. So around Wednesday at noon, my ACC was delivered, and I said, even if it gets delivered, in fact, I wish for once that Canada Post would have been Canada Post and just delayed things, but it didn't. No. So it showed up, and I was left with the dilemma. I had one night to set it up and shoot it, and I did.
Did you buy weights? Did you buy weights with it?
So I borrowed weights from Tony. Tony had he was shooting his semi, so he didn't need the weight for the weekend. So I didn't put a lot though, just the 2 weights at the front. Yeah. It didn't quite balance, but when you're used to shooting a B-22 and all of a sudden if you got an ACC with a little bit of heft to it, I felt like all my trigger pull, everything was nice. I mean, more stable than I've ever had the opportunity to shoot. So it was great to experience that during a match. I don't know if it helped me much because I didn't do that great. I started strong by my standards. Stage 1 through, I can't remember where we started. I think we started on 4 and then we made our way back to, we started on 6 and made our way back to 10. Is that right?
Yeah.
Shot really well. In fact, I remember shooting better than Matt for the first 2, which I thought I was on fire all of a sudden.
My icebreaker stage was so bad.
It was rough. Yes. When the guy gets off the line and there's not a word. Yeah. Silence.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, Thomas. I hear that all the time. The walk of shame.
Yeah. And then by the time we loop back around, I guess, it must have been 10, 11 o'clock. The thermals show up and there was a breeze and that was the end for me. So I came out of this match thinking, first I have to work on sort of stage mapping in my mind. I made a lot of mistakes shooting the wrong target, running out of time, positioning myself. I don't know if you watched Matt's video, there was this stage where you have 2 Home Depot looking cart and I dropped my rifle on there and, I try to go get into the eye box and I just basically keep bumping my head into the bar. And I never thought for 1 second to move the rifle back or go around or anything like that. I just shot it with poor vision. That's just a bad choice. The Adam Cool definitely knows how to stress the guys that are used to easy, a bit more time. He's designed a stage that was really stretching your attention. A few stages where you had near, far, and then you switch position and all of a sudden it's middle, far, near. There's no rhyme or reason to it. That really kicked my butt. And then
so the ACC Did the ACC help
Yes.
you? Did it feel? What was so for guys that are thinking? What's the biggest thing? Is there one thing you can point to?
After shooting production for 2 years, I upgraded to the CZL LP or LRP?
LRP.
Yeah. Fantastic upgrade. In fact, I don't know that I needed to upgrade to the ACC, but my whole squad shoots ACC, and I guess I became a follower. So I decided, you know what, let's do it. I basically have the same rifle as Colin, except he's got the tuner on it, so I still have the original break. The biggest difference I've noticed going from production to open is the added weight to the rifle. When you pull that trigger, that little bounce, nothing moves. To me, that's the biggest difference. The ability to never lose track of your target. Yeah. In fact, it made me upset at some point because I'm pulling the trigger, everything stays perfectly lined up, and it showed me how poorly I can read the wind because it wasn't the trigger pull, it wasn't the position, everything was nice and stable. So next phase is to improve my wind reading, and I'm looking for strategies for this because I train a lot at the Stittsville range, and in between those two berms, the wind is always front to back basically. Right. So I don't, I'll have to spend more time with Pat or something and shoot in more diverse conditions. But yeah, I think the wind really killed my weekend, but it's a good learning opportunity.
That's it. We all learn something. Hopefully we all learn something. What optic are you running right now?
I'm running the Cronus, thanks to you. So I ordered an Athlon Cronus in December, and it still hasn't shown up. I really wanted the APR S6, which apparently, I don't know, it's like a mythical thing. Maybe someday it'll show up. But
we're gonna get Dustin from Athlon up here, and you can ask him that question directly.
That'd be awesome. And I mean, that is life changing.
Those are pretty big words.
Oh no, absolutely. In fact, this afternoon I went to practice with Pascal a little bit, but I was fine tuning my son's rifle, the Gray Birch, which still has the Diamondback attached to it, and I felt pretty myopic.
You're spoiled.
Yeah, that's a great. So yes, my from last year's B22 and Diamondback to this year's CZ into the ACC with the Cronus. There's only one excuse left, and that's me, unfortunately.
I know. Sorry, you had to learn that lesson the hard way, Thomas. I could have told you that. I could have told you that months ago. Saved yourself some money. That's awesome. Hey man, I forgot to ask. How did your MPA run?
I really like the MPA.
Yeah. So going from the ACC to the MPA, any major?
So I will be doing like a full comparison in the future, but in a nutshell, I like the front half of the ACC better and the back half of the MPA better. So in terms of the interface to me, and again, this is very personal, but in terms of the MPA interface to my shoulder, my hand, I find it more comfortable. But in terms of the fore end of the ACC, it's only ever so slightly more functional in my opinion, only because it's long, right? It's like 18 inches of arc rail. But they're very similar. I don't think you could go wrong with either one, and it's a lot of personal preference. But the MPA just fits my body a little bit better than the ACC. Okay. Yeah.
So
Sorry?
Can you set your length of pull shorter with the MPA?
No, you can set it shorter with the MDT.
Really?
Yeah, the MPA has an option if you buy it directly from MPA to get a shorter length of pull, but I bought mine from Yeah, but it's fine for me, luckily. But the MDT, they're both just as adjustable. In fact, the MDT is a little bit more adjustable because you can swing the butt pad,
cheek piece,
and stuff,
and the cheek piece as well.
Piece, but I keep them centered anyway, so that's a non-factor to me. I just find the MPA, especially the I think they call it the EVG grip. Their vertical foregrip has a really nice thumb shelf, which, I mean, does it matter in terms of your shooting performance? Probably not. But it just feels a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
And I also really like the the spigot brings. I don't think this is an issue, but the spigot brings your bipod closer to the barrel's bore line, so you can get kind of low. I kind of like that. Does it matter? Again, probably not. Yeah,
it could.
Yeah, and just to answer this question here from Carl, the shooter in my squad that had the Cadex Strike nuke stock was a Bagara B14. Yeah.
Who was shooting that?
With a carbon barrel. It was Steven, the host for the Catalonia match coming up. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was his place. Cool. I thought he was shooting a Voodoo for some reason.
No, it's a B14R, but it has the carbon barrel on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Matt, after reviewing the video, called me out on the fact that I wasn't using the thumb shelf on the ACC. I was just holding this thing like pistol grip style. So I'm going to have to work on that.
Yeah, well, again, you only shot it. You only shot it to 0 before the match, so you were totally unfamiliar with the ergonomics. And I just noticed reviewing the footage, I was like, I wonder if he's doing that on purpose, but he's like holding it like an AR grip. Like
no, not at all.
Yeah.
There's 15 points right there, Thomas.
There is.
15 points.
My gosh,
man.
I wish that was true. I wish that. I'm going to hold on to that until the next match. It's going to make me feel pretty good.
I'm gonna stick one of those plastic freebie AR-15 grips on mine and just do away with that whole thing.
Like the A2 grips?
Yeah, like the cheapest one, the cheapest possible one. Actually, MDT has the SRA short stock option as well for the ACC.
Yes, that came out just a couple of months ago, I believe.
Yeah, that's an even shorter one. So, John, if you're length of post too long, John, you can get a shorty. You can get a short stack skeleton.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Oh, one thing.
But it is one of the things I notice. I would say most people run a length of pull too long.
Oh yeah, okay.
That is, yep. And I'm a long-armed ape, but I run mine as short as possible.
Why is that, John?
Because you get a lot more flexibility in positions. So you get it closer to you. You got your arm bent more, which gives you a higher kneeling with your elbow on your knee shooting position. And if you're in some awkward position where you can't get square behind your rifle right, you have more flexibility in your arm. So for me, there's a limit. If you go too short, if I go down to 12 inches, then I'm all cramped up. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
But no.
There's a happy spot for you.
Don't.
So when are you gonna run a clinic, John? You got like $1 million worth of advice there, just given out for free here.
Yeah.
You should get some folks set up there at the Gingrich Shooting Complex.
Yeah, we'll see. The wheat's not off yet.
But length of pull is very dependent on a bunch of different factors as well. Yeah. Like I think you said generally they run it too long, which I would agree with. Yeah.
Generally. Yeah. And the thing is, when you run, sometimes guys will run a longer length of pull to combat having their optic back too far.
Yeah. So
if you can't get your optic far enough forward, depending on the rail, then you don't have any option, right?
Yeah. But there's a couple of rifles that have that issue. Like the 1022s are notorious for short rails.
The Ruger.
Yeah. Andre has a question. From your grip to the elbow joint, where do you keep it for length?
Yeah, he's talking about the classic.
Upright.
So you'd set your buttstock in here, and they would usually say that your finger should be on the trigger. I would actually have my finger in front of the trigger almost an inch.
So like you're like at the knuckle, almost at the bend. So you've got.
If I was to do a true like Phil Faleo 90, I would almost be on the trigger.
Okay.
But I do have a longer forearm, or I do have longer arms than average. So with a typical ACC, most people would not actually be able to get it that short, because I'm all the way as short as possible without going to the shorter version.
Stephen here, I forgot. He says the carbon barrel is only on for another week because he got a 1 in 12 twist IBI for it.
Hey, Steven, you should talk to Thomas. It's not the gear, man. It's not the rifle.
Well, he gets some wild cold bore shots with
Steven is with the carbon.
Yeah. So,
how easy is it to swap out those Bergara barrels?
It's not as easy as like a 457, but you can do it at home if you have an action wrench.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I think Pascal bought an action wrench to do his own as well.
1 inch left at 50.
Cold bore. That's no good.
That's not as bad as Yannick's yet, though.
What?
I was surprised. Yannick has a cold bore on his first round of a stage 2. He just accounts for it and rolls, and it's working. Guess who was at the top of the list?
Yeah,
both.
There's something wrong with that guy. we're gonna start doing like drug testing. And he just had a baby too.
You think he's taking Adderall or something?
I don't know, man. He's on something because
the wind reading drug. What is that?
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey, Tony brings up a good point discussion. He says he free recoils during a match, which means, I believe it means you put very little shoulder pressure into your rifle when it's on target. I personally, I would say I load into my rifle, not an extreme amount, but I'm putting shoulder pressure into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that only
you do.
I mean, that works if your rifle's balanced, though, right? If it's not, then you don't have much choice, right?
Right. That's a good point.
So,
I would do both. If I'm hanging by my tail upside down somewhere shooting, usually then you can't create a solid body position, and then I'll get in behind the rifle. I'll push it in tight, and then it'll be balanced, and then I'll back out of it to take my body tremors out to actually do the shot. But I'm going to still maintain a positive grip with my trigger hand. But generally speaking, I find I am personally more stable if I'm solid behind the rifle. I guess Thomas doesn't do anything.
Oh, I didn't realize that was my turn. That's funny. I was just thinking, I'm like, what do I do? Because to be honest, in production, free recoiling was not an option, and I guess maybe Tony can chime in on that one, because he also shot a B-22 for the better part of the first season, at least, that he's shot with us. So that was out of an option, and then with the ACC and the weight, I still sort of have that habit of loading the bipod, loading into the barricade. So we'll see if that changes over time. But that's something I want to experiment with, definitely.
Right. Hey, Tony, what are you running right now? What did you shoot that weekend?
It's a 1022. It's the I think it's a DeLast receiver with a kid barrel.
Nice.
Actually, it's not a kid barrel. He told me recently what it was.
Oh no, yeah,
it's no name.
It's like a something mountain or something like that.
Oh, Green Mountain.
It might be a Green Mountain, or it's a company that makes them off their blanks or something like that.
Delask used Green Mountain blanks, but Tony,
yeah.
let us know what you're using and whether it's balanced, or because I always like, if you don't have a balanced rifle, it was always difficult to get that free recoil to happen. But maybe because yours is light. Yeah.
Speaking of Tony, it was cool to see a 1022 on the podium, because he podiumed on Saturday, I believe.
And he wasn't far away on Sunday. He was like 5th or 6th, I think, on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't. He's probably up there, but it was impressive because you don't see. Well, I guess you sometimes see 1022s, but it's not often. Right?
Tony, he finished 6th on Sunday.
Sweet. Where was I on Sunday?
8th.
Okay, I was 8th. Okay.
You were 8th. Yeah.
Is that really a barrel from? That can't be a typo. Walmart?
Yeah, okay, I remember this. He mentioned he got it from Walmart. And he just like picked it up there, and kid internals. Okay, interesting.
So all you guys been spending money on IBI barrels are just wasting your money.
No. Look how cool the fluting looks. Clearly, it's worth something.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see the new fluting.
Yeah.
Are they sharp edged fluting or are they relieved?
I would say they're semi-sharp. Let's just say I wouldn't want to rub my face against it, but it's fine. It's protected by the
But you can't shave with it.
Yeah, you can't shave with it.
Can't shave it? Okay. Nice. Okay, so Tony's making it worse because he didn't even buy it new. It's just some secondhand thing that he beat you all with.
That's awesome.
Nice, congrats, Tony. Nice, and we'll get you on the podcast, talk about your experience at the Canadian Sharpshooter as well. Congrats on a good, strong finish there. So
did he podium at the Sharpshooter?
No, he was 13th, I think.
Okay, wow, and they have like 100 shooters or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, Steven, if you want me to flute that carbon barrel, I can do it for you, man.
Yeah, bad idea.
I'll do it for free, just for practice. Just kidding. What else? So this was a very technical, it was a mental match. How would you? It was heavily on.
In terms of the difficulty levels, the things that made it difficult beside environmentals was the target transitions, because they could be very wide panning.
Okay.
So they weren't just in a line. Like a lot of them, you had to pan at least 45 degrees to go from one target to the other. And as Thomas mentioned, it was the target engagement sequence, but pair that with the minute 45 par time. So it's 15 seconds shorter than CRPS, and the amount of movement. It was just time management in general, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Challenging to say the least.
Yeah. So did you all struggle with that?
So funny enough, Thomas, after the match, mentioned getting some sort of timer to attach to your rifle to keep track of your stage times. So I bought a cheap Casio digital watch. I took the straps off when you can't see it, but I Velcroed it to the stock so I can start it and I can just look down at my time now. So I'm going to practice with that and see if it helps. But time management was huge because I generally shoot quick. And in CRPS, I need to tell myself to slow down because I'm just rushing things when I shouldn't. But I found it strange because some stages I thought we had time to kind of dial and take your time. I found it very crunched on time. And other stages where I thought it'd be more difficult, I was finishing with like 20 seconds. So I need to really reevaluate how I'm planning stages before I shoot them. Yeah,
and I think the watch is the answer to that, because how else are you going to know? I mean, you can ask once or twice your spotter or your RO what your time is, but not much more than that. So it seems to work well for Kevin. He's not here today, but he podiumed both days, so he did well.
Yeah,
just gotta practice with a timer. Well, you guys, like Matt, you and Kevin practice on the clock, right?
Oh yeah, we always practice on the clock, and we practice with the 1:45 par time as well. So we're used to that. And mentally, once you practice with that so much, you kind of know when you're running out of time. But I do ask how much time is remaining in a stage. You know, maybe not very often, but I do it more for tactical purposes rather than to see how much time I have left. So, like if it's a crunch of getting the last shot off, I'll usually ask if I'm transitioning halfway through a stage to see if I can take the time to dial or something like that.
Right.
Well, when we train on the clock, though, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I never really think of, did I use all my time? It's always, did I finish before the beep? And I think we need to change this. Like, if you finish 20 seconds early, well, you could have ran a little, unless you cleaned it, you did something wrong. Right. You should have taken your time. So I think I'll make a.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you finish early, then that just means you're able to get target acquisition and hopefully do good shots, right? That's the key.
But that's the question, right? Like, if I had taken my time, would have done a little bit better. Maybe not. Who knows? But I think in my next practice session, now that I've done exactly what Matt did, tear apart an old watch. Yeah. With the time in front of you with your dope card, essentially, I think that's going to be valuable feedback.
Because it's interesting because Maple Seed is very, like, when you're shooting the qualification targets, right, the MQTs, that's all about time management and how you respond to time as a stressor, right? Some people fall apart, some people just keep shooting, I think the question from my perspective is, what's your objective? Are you just trying to get all rounds off? Are you trying to get good rounds? If you're trying to get good rounds off, then you're gonna shoot the best score however long it takes. What you need to do is get into position faster, acquire the target faster, and learn to pull the trigger well faster, as opposed to, so that's the thing. It's you can't make yourself shoot better faster. You have to make yourself shoot better first, and then eventually through proper repetition you'll get faster at shooting. And then the result of a match is just an observation of where you are in that time frame. I don't think you could have done any better if you took more time. You know what I mean? It's you perform. So that's the thing, is you just have to apply more practice against the clock better.
Yeah.
So
to develop that second sense.
Yeah, and just shoot perfect shots, and then eventually it'll get faster as you hone your perfect shooting skills. Right? Is a strategy. That's my personal thing. I don't know if anyone else has any opinions on how to shoot better faster.
I think for more of the large matches, like you kind of alluded to, it's target acquisition is a time killer for a lot of people, especially when there's multiple targets, again, spread out. You need to know how to find it quickly and just transition between it. Because I feel like a lot of people can get on the first target, but then if there's 3 spread out around the horizon, they're kind of wasting time searching for it.
Yeah. A lot of guys waste all their stage time just standing around talking, right? You need to get a sight picture, get a bino that closely matches what you're going to be shooting.
100%.
So you know what it's going to look like from a perspective. So you know what the background's going to be and roughly the orientation. I mean, I still screw up, but at least take the time to know what it's supposed to look like, as opposed to, where is it? It's over there.
Yeah. And I struggle with finding the target. So now I look beyond the target, right? If there's a white oak in a forest of evergreen, well, I'll know where that is in respect to other things. And I did a lot of that during the match. It's interesting because John mentioned this at the beginning when we spoke about sharing equipment. We even discussed it before the match, and we ended up, I think, all bringing our own stuff. But sharing bags, no problem, because there's really only one shooter at a time. But the binos and the tripod to hold your binos, I think that's key to at least my game strategy. I have to know where those targets are, and the farther into the shooting line I am, the more time I try to spot, right. And I think that's really beneficial.
So you brought the tripod just for the binos, as opposed to holding it, or is that what I heard? Is that what you guys do? You guys bring tripods for binos?
Yeah. I did not use my tripod at all for support during the match, but I don't practice it enough, so I feel clumsy with it. So I'm not there yet.
So what's the advantage of? So that way it's always there for you to see what's going on, or are you spotting with it?
I do both.
Okay.
Yeah, even if I'm not the designated spotter, I'll probably be on glass if I'm not shooting, just to get what Tom was saying, get a clue of where they are, what's in the background of them if you can't see the targets with your naked eye, and then you can always see wind too. You're looking for mirage and all that stuff. Yeah,
I mean, I'll bring binos, but I don't normally bring the tripod with it, so that's
you don't have to, but holding up binos for 6 hours a day is a lot more tiring than putting them on.
I know. I just grab them when I need to, just for stage prep or pre-stage prep, and then I'll put them away after, and then say, where is it? Then I'll just walk up to someone's on a tripod and say, oh, there it is. So, well, Tony's saying, his binos are 10x now, and generally runs 10x to have similar side picture, which is great. It's good advice. And then Tony had a question on, do you dial or hold? Do you do both? Does it depend?
That's like religion almost.
It really depends. Like a lot of stages, you have to plan what you want to do in advance. And it also depends on target size. Like if they're more generous, hold, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If they're more generous and if they're crunch for time and you're comfortable holding because you've practiced it, then hold. If you're not comfortable holding, there's no way you're going to hold anything. Doesn't matter target size or not. Yeah.
I try to hold as much as possible, and that's one of the reasons why I'm waiting for the APR 6. It's got the 0.2 hash marks, so someday it'll show up. But I'm getting awfully comfortable on the APRS 1 now, so I don't know if maybe I'll change my mind down the road.
You know when you're going to get it when you don't need it.
Right. Well, how's that going to happen?
when you buy that zero compromise optic.
That's right. No. I'm still going for the Canadian package.
Or buy one of John's. Buy one of John's spare Minoxes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, John,
do you still have those?
I was checking out Steven's Minox LR. Checking it out. It's pretty sweet. Like for the price, it's hard to beat, I would say.
Yeah. You just hardly will. Sorry, Thomas. And I think it actually has the 0.2 mil hash marks. Just
yeah. See, it's perfect.
Well, Dan's got a good question. Do you use descriptions as gospel, or do you always laze the targets?
So I was actually lazing all the targets on the Sunday, and it's not because I didn't trust the stage thing. I just wanted more for peace of mind, knowing that, because when I train with my rifle, I'm using my rangefinder. So even if your rangefinder measures differently or something, it's always tuned to your rangefinder. So I was ranging everything, and they were within 1.5 yards. So that's not going to change anything at these distances, but it was more for peace of mind than anything.
Yeah. Plus, it's a great way to get the sight picture preview, right? Even if it's only 6x or 4x or whatever your magnifier is.
Yeah. What's
the magnification on the Furies? Were you using the Furies?
No. I thought you were going to pick them up, so I had them all packed away.
So I kicked you down to a lower snack bracket.
Yeah, but the Furies are 10 times. My rangefinder is 6 times, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but my binoculars are 12 times, the ones I use normally.
We have the same rangefinder. Mine is 7.
Yeah, so yours is the legit Kilo 2000. Mine is the dirty Cabela's proprietary version. Yeah, so Cabela's must have made some sort of contract with SIG to make a Cabela's version of the SIG Kilo 2000, and it's slightly worse than the normal one. It's only 6 times, and
worse.
The objective lens is smaller, so it's not the same model, but they still call it the Kilo 2000. Yeah. It's actually called the SIG Kilo 2000 Shadow, I think is technically what
really?
It is. Yeah. But they're very vague about it. They don't tell you it's a different 2000.
Almost as good as.
Exactly. And it's at the same price though. So it's like the same price, just slightly worse.
Nice. Nearly the same as. If you love the SIG Kilos, you'll like the Shadow.
Exactly. But I got it on sale, so that's why I bought it.
Oh, too bad I didn't know you had the Furies there, because then we could have put it beside the Minox.
Yeah, it was in my trunk of the car.
Yeah, that's too bad. Oh well.
Yeah. Next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time. When I promise you I'll come and not show up again.
Are you guys shooting the Caledonia match, the Stevens match?
When is that?
August 7th.
August 7th. Ooh, I could actually make that one, I think. Oh, wow. Shoot a match. What a concept. Oh, what a concept.
It's been a little while.
It's been a lot of while. My gosh. March?
The last one was here.
When was your match? Yeah, when was your match, John?
I think it was beginning of April, I want to say.
April.
Jeez.
Something.
Yeah.
I have practice score up. I can check.
No, that's all right.
Come out for a double header ORPS at Stittsville.
Hey, Carl, I was supposed to go visit Asmere, but also because my plans were delayed, I didn't get a chance to run up to Asmere and get. Because I gotta do a run. I'm planning to do a run up to Ottawa Saturday to collect.
Are you here
stuff.
for the Maple Seed, Rick? Because there's a Maple Seed this weekend.
No, I can't do this weekend.
Rick, push it back a week and come shoot ORPS.
ORPS.
on the.
I gotta check with my family schedule it, but that would be awesome.
Thomas,
that would be awesome.
Is the ORPS registration filled?
No, there's quite a few.
Really? That surprises me.
Yeah,
okay.
Is it on the ORPS calendar, Thomas?
No, because I didn't tell you what day it was.
Just my roundabout way of asking, Thomas. Are you going to tell me stuff?
It's on the 24th, and it's a doubleheader. So we're shooting the May and July Course of Fire, and next week we're shooting the June and August Course of Fire. So we're going to.
So whoever the ORPS statistician is going to have a heck of a time this year because so many ranges are catching up. So where was I? I was talking to Manitoba's going to do May, June, and August.
Well, I've
they're not doing July yet.
Yeah,
they're going to do July and September.
It's easy, but it just means that the monthly leaderboard is very likely to change drastically from month to month as people are catching up. But
that's
in terms of the work involved in keeping up with it, it's all the same. It's easy.
Yeah, it's harder on the admin side.
Computer program, right?
What's that?
Thanks to a guy that can make a computer program.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a copy and paste at this point.
You guys,
I got that headache taken care of. There's plenty more to come.
I wonder if Tony's going to shoot. I want to see his 1022 in action. Actually, know what we should do? We should put it head to head with the Delask 1022 that Lee sent the X22 as our prize for this year. It's a fully kitted out, kitted out 1022.
Just speaking of 1022, that reminded me, the Gray Birch Fusion 1022 receivers are now shipping.
Nice.
Yeah, and Thomas actually has one already.
Yeah. Am I allowed to show this on video? Probably not.
What's not
sitting on the shelf up there? Was that
just hold it by two fingers? Hold it by two fingers.
It's just a chassis. Are you brandishing a chassis?
It's not the chassis. It's the barreled action.
Oh, the barreled action. Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. Just do it quickly, Thomas. It's just a barrel. It's just a barrel, guys. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It has a threaded barrel into the receiver with a barrel nut, so it gets rid of the V block.
Nice.
They've got this really nice little anodized blue, which also matches the brand color of my business. So I think I'm going to expense this.
Marketing.
Yeah, this is Jeremy's next rifle. So the first Gray Birch worked okay. But awesome. This one is going to be...
What's the barrel length on that, Thomas?
20?
16, I think, right?
Yeah, that's the 16.
Oh, they don't do 20, right? It's 12 or 16 that they...
Yeah, exactly.
16 and a half and 12 and a half, maybe. So it's not the short one, it's the longer one.
The Parka.
So I'm looking forward to trying this, but I'm waiting for the little chassis for it, too.
You getting the Gray Birch chassis?
Mm-hmm. The DLX.
Nice.
It's off of my son.
Does he know?
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Every member in my family has a rifle built for them, but they don't know that. For when they get into shooting, this is what they will shoot.
That's right. No, but I'll shoot it as well. I maybe for the ORPS. I've always been curious. Tony does super well with the. What's that?
Just to break it in.
Yeah. Tony does pretty well with his 1022, and I think on some stages it's kind of fun to send the rounds down range faster than the spotter can call it. So.
Tony would do well with a bag of rocks.
A slingshot.
Like I've seen some of the Franken guns Tony's been shooting. Like if he can make those things work, imagine what a fully kitted out, put together rifle would do in his hands. And we did see that.
Ferguson Pascal says you need to get the Parka for it. I don't think I'm gonna go there. That's too much bling. The Parka is, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a suppressor to some extent. It could be a brake, but it's not really either. It shoots.
It's basically a schnoobel you can attach to the end of your rifle. It's carbon fiber.
It's a pseudo schnoobel.
It's a pseudo schnoobel. That's what it is. Yeah.
Is that what Chris is running on his?
Yes. But he put it on a Voodoo, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he put it on his Voodoo.
That's pretty funny.
Nice. That's awesome.
You should send Steve an invitation at Grey Birch. See if he wants to tell us about the journey.
I have asked him.
Oh yeah,
and we're gonna schedule it for later in the year when he's got more time.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah. Because those guys are so busy. Their stuff coming out almost every month. So they have that new forend coming out soon. I've seen the photos.
The 10-inch.
Yeah. Did you get yours yet, Matt?
So Steve actually emailed me. He said mine should be coming or shipping this week, along with my Fusion. So I'm building up basically the same rifle Thomas's for Dory, and we're putting the 10-inch forend on it. Yeah, so it's going to be awesome. But no, actually, she's shooting the ORPS on the 24th.
Oh, nice.
Shooting the doubleheader. Yeah, so if that comes in time and I have time to test it to check its reliability and stuff, she'll be shooting that rifle.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Jeremy will be shooting that rifle on the 24th too, because
awesome.
the what was the chassis name yet? Foundation. Yeah, is on its way too.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be a busy guy.
We'll be twinsies. Thomas will have the same rifle.
So I have the same rifle as Colin, and then I'll have the same rifle as you. I guess
this is basically the same rifle as yours.
Yeah. Like John's getting all excited about this all semi-auto talk.
Yeah, no, we're falling asleep over here.
The Oryx chassis are solid. I
love it.
They are a great chassis. I can't say enough good things about that thing. That monocoque design, front to back, it's good.
Yeah, I borrowed an Oryx chassis from you, Rick, to test out 1022 actually in the spring, and I really like it. It's really solid. It feels great. Very comfortable.
Don't you still have it?
No, I have your Spectre Ballistics chassis.
Okay.
Yeah, we swapped a bunch of stuff.
I've lost track.
Yeah.
Who's got the rim axis? Do I have it or does Thomas have it?
I don't.
You have it. But I still have your base for the Cronus though, that Italian one.
Oh yeah,
the
Marquesa. The Contessa.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dan is asking, are all you guys running a tuner? I have a tuna can. I wouldn't say I'm running it because I took it out to test once and I don't think it does anything. So I have it there for the weight, the forward weight. But I also have seen like the KSS or something, KS Solutions tuner on people's rifles as well.
Yeah,
some people swear by tuners, and other people say they don't do anything. I think it depends on your rifle and whatnot.
Yeah, Thomas, you running it? You're not running a tuner, right?
Nope.
Johnny running a tuner?
I don't believe in muzzle threads.
Fair point.
Valid.
In our group at Stittsville, there's a lot of those tuna cans.
Is Kevin running?
No,
Matt,
Colin, me, and Robert.
Yeah. And then there's a few more.
What's Robert running?
He's running a tuna can. Andre here just commented ATS by KSS. That's the tuner that other people will use as well.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan Ocab is watching. Hey, John.
Oh, that's crazy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I agree with him. I think it makes more sense for bench rest because when I was testing it, I can't tell an appreciable difference, especially if there's anything more than like a 3 mile per hour wind at 50. Like, who knows if it's the wind, the shooter, the tuner. Like,
yeah.
And I tested it at 100 as well. And on a good day, at 100 yards with any sort of wind, you're looking at anywhere from a 1-inch group to a 3-inch group. Like, that's what you can expect. And with the tuner, I was getting the exact same results. So I have it on my rifle purely for the forward weight and balance. It doesn't serve any other function besides that for me anyway.
Tony says he's running one on the center fire and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, a center fire, I think it would make more sense.
But that like just digressing from it, but if you've developed the load for center fire, doesn't a tuner kind of go against it?
But he shoots factory ammunition, so maybe that's the...
Oh, does he shoot factory? Okay.
Well, for now at least, but when he was training a couple of weeks ago before the Alberta match, he was on factory.
Okay.
I also do want to say, I want to put a disclaimer that I'm not a ballistics expert or engineer because I was talking to Kevin. So Kevin, I can't remember his last name.
Needswitz,
yeah. So Kevin and Yannick both swear by tuners, and they're much better shooters than I am. So again, like that's my opinion on tuners. But if you ask some other very good shooters, they swear by tuners.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Yannick's got a pretty decent video on the subject too.
Yes, he does. Yeah. Yannick has some good content on it.
So the PRS centerfire, you would say, why would you run a tuner? Because they do extensive work on their hand loads. You know, everything's perfect. But you got to remember, you take someone like, you know, Jake Bibbert, who no one's going to argue is very good, or John Pinch. They leave the Northwest and they cruise down to Arizona. It's, you know, 0% humidity. It's 120 degrees. And the load that they had developed back home may or may not actually shoot well in Arizona or Florida. So for them, the idea is when they're zeroing, they, you know, couple picks one way or the other, and bingo, now they're back to where they should be for group size. Because, and it was in a podcast, one of them was saying, I think it was Jake was saying, he was at a match and, you know, he's getting 3/4 inch groups at 100 yards. Like, who's going to accept that, right?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't lose the match either, right? So it doesn't really matter, but yet at that level, it gives them the ability to have perfect.
Yeah, I think there is a place and a use for tuners, but for me, I haven't found it yet. And we're getting a lot of good comments on Facebook here. Like Tony says it worked for him. Pascal says there's a good use for them on centerfire because the barrels are typically longer and less rigid, which makes more sense. So the harmonics, I guess, would be, you know, playing a larger role than on a rimfire if you have like a super heavy MTU profile barrel or something.
Yeah, that is definitely a factor. If you got a short, heavy barrel, like mathematically, like you can't get as much. But a rimfire, you actually are able to get more of a effect because or more adjustment range would be a better way to say it, because you have a longer dwell time.
Right.
So your window is longer.
Right, and our SDs are worse too, right?
Yeah. Which, yeah. We'll see.
I can't see. It just says Facebook user. Oh, it's Aaron Rodriguez. He's asking about the 10-inch foundation forend. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it will work much better for our type of PRS style shooting because the little 4-inch forend just isn't long enough to use off barricades and stuff. So,
is it even fair to call a 4-inch forend a forend?
Yeah, I don't know. A 4.
Yes, it is because it's in front of the magwell.
Yeah, 10-inch honestly isn't the minimum. Yeah,
just ask my wife.
I don't think I.
Yeah, tuners cause so much discussion. As soon as you mention tuners,
Yes.
like the comments just explode here on Facebook.
Like I'm not podiuming because I don't have a tuner, right?
Right. That's what you're
the
missing.
thing. So but you know, that's the thing. It's I need to work on so many more things before that the advantage that the tuner will give me is going to be worthwhile, if any. Right? We're talking about the last sliver of accuracy or precision, whichever one it is.
You know why I added a tuner to my rifle? It's so I can say it was out of tune if I don't place high. I'll just say really poorly, and it's the tuner's fault.
Well, that's what I need then.
In case it wasn't the wind's fault, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
I can definitely see a tuner from the weight perspective, like what Matt's doing, because, like, tuner aside, that weight is going to improve your ability to build a solid position, even if it's not increasing your accuracy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you're going to end up with a shorter barrel, then maybe tuner is the option to get your weight.
Yeah. Or just better balance with less weight, right?
Yeah,
because it's all the way out the front. Like the tuna can I have is probably about a pound, and it's all the way at the front of my barrel, so it balances it nicely.
Yeah.
Maybe she could just get them to make like super tuna cans. Tuna can and a half.
Extra heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting though. You know, Tony's saying like the idea could use any ammo with a good SD and tune it to the rifle. But then if conditions change, like Jonathan was saying, that it wouldn't that good SD you created or that better performance you created might not exist anymore. You almost need to test it before every match to make sure it was tuned for that day's conditions, right?
No,
yeah. Again, I don't want to get I don't want to get
technical, but that was
spiraling down into the tuna can black hole here. Way to go! We got sucked into the tuna can black hole.
Darn it! Okay, let's talk about the match. Let's
talk about tripods.
Oh boy!
All right,
there we go.
Yeah.
So actually, talking about the match, you know how there was kind of a discussion last time about carts versus carrying your equipment. There was a very strongly opinionated individual on my day 2 video on YouTube who wrote like a book about why carts and wagons should be banned and how horrible they are. I find like if it's not against the rules again, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I don't think you're actually saving much energy going with a wagon and cart. After seeing those 2 days, I don't think it's for that. It's probably more for convenience than it is taking weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, because I remember, like at the finale, Adam was pushing the wheelbarrow around. I think he was working twice as hard as we were.
Yeah, exactly.
Once he was getting stuck in snow, yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
I think the biggest factor is not overpacking.
Yeah.
And I say that being a guy, I like to be prepared for everything. Because like Thomas said, he used everything in his bag. If I did that, it would have been one awful day. I'd have had to plug the barrel. I had to have a trigger go down. I'd have to have my scope come loose or something, right?
But John, I have all that except it stays in the car, which is still within walking distance.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the stuff I carried with me is what I need to shoot, not to rebuild my rifle.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about rebarreling or anything like that. Just fixing a problem.
Yeah. It's just.
But how many bags do you really need? Right.
Yeah.
I think guys would do well to consider how much stuff they actually use. It's okay to have some emergency things, and like Thomas does, leave them in the car. Sure, I don't choose to do that. That's fine. But a little bit of thinking, and whether you're using a cart or a backpack, that's not a choice factor.
Yeah, I mean, there were some comments on Facebook about that was slowing down matches because guys with carts. Like
I don't think that's what's slowing down matches. Again, like Andre mentioned, having dedicated ROs is huge, but since we're all swapping out, like it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's shooters up, here's on deck, that's in the hole. Once you get that going, everybody moves through fairly well. If you're waiting around for the shooter to shoot, then you're doing something wrong in your squad management. Like you should not be waiting for the shooter to get ready. Like you're up. If you're not ready, you miss your turn. Sweep on next, right? Like this is like the 4th year now. Everyone should be experienced enough to help coach people into the right mentality of when you hear your name on deck, you are ready to shoot. If you're in the hole, you are almost ready to shoot, right? This is your 30-second warning. Be lined up, ready to go, right? So
I'd say the 80% humidity and 32 degrees is what slowed us down after a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the young kids.
Maybe.
How did Kaler do that? Did he shoot that match?
He shot both days. Yeah, I can't remember what he placed though. I remember when he was called up because he got obviously best junior shooter as usual. He mentioned he wasn't happy with the way he shot, so I guess not fantastic.
No, he didn't do his best.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that Is it his first?
In a long time?
He hasn't shot. Oh man,
I haven't seen him. I didn't see him at Palmerston.
Okay.
I
think he was at Battle Hill though, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
I don't remember.
He got 23rd on Saturday. Says Dan.
I think he was 14th on Sunday.
Yeah, so someone says he was at Battle Hill. So he shot Battle Hill last month.
Yeah, like Magneto One would be a tough first match for a shooter, based on what it sounded like.
Oh yeah, like my buddy Kevin, that shot. Kind of felt sorry for him, but he's got to learn sometime, I figured. But
how did he survive shooting that entire match in a t-shirt with no hat? That's just beyond
me. Yeah, he really enjoyed it though.
Yeah. Awesome.
Did you talk him through it? Did you get him set up?
Just do it to learn.
Just threw him in. Nice.
So he shot here already, and so we went through the process of how to put your dope together and create a card. Okay. And I did not. I gave him the environmentals to put in his app. He's running the free Strelok app, and he pretty much did his own thing.
He was getting some good hits. I remember. He was doing in some stages. Yeah.
Yeah, and Steven's right. The Frozen Fingers match, that was his first one. That'd actually be worst.
Well, Rob Longridge did the Windy Day at Warren Field.
That was his
first match.
Yeah, that was the headwind. Headwind or tailwind?
Yeah, tailwind.
Tailwind, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, Rob. That was a good one. That was a good one to start off. Whoa, brutal.
But the thing is, if you start there, then it's only going to get better, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't really know that when you start.
Yeah. Well, I think that people have to come in with the right frame of mind. I almost want to get people to download this frame of mind that they need to be in for your first match.
Yeah.
Just be safe, have a good time, ask questions. Don't expect to hit anything past 150, right? And you'll be fine, right? Unless you've dialed in everything. Right? Just be happy you're making hits. If you're not making hits, from 100 to 150, there's something else wrong, right? That you need to take care of. So,
like zero, maybe not zeroed or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a couple of new shooters at the Magneto One match, which was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They all had a good time. Like, even though the stages were fairly difficult, like if you just take your time and try and get a couple hits, which you will, you'll learn a lot too. Just watching, the more experienced shooters.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good community. It's a very welcoming community, which is the best possible environment to build.
Actually, that reminds me, Avery, Pascal's daughter, shot both days, and the first day didn't go too well. I don't think she hit a single target. So the second day, we kind of slowed it down, and I think Pascal was kind of walking her through stuff, and she was hitting stuff like, I think one stage she was getting 4 or 5 hits. Like, it was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Better than me on this stage. It was the one with the skinny little targets. The Varmint Hunt. Yeah,
that was awesome. And she hit the far target on that one as well. So.
And the reason she didn't hit anything on Saturday though is the rifle was not even what you consider remotely zeroed.
Okay,
there was some issue going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they switched rifles.
Yeah.
And she shot the old Savage. Yeah. It wasn't nothing she could do about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So she swapped rifles between the days.
Because Pascal was intimidated. He wanted to make sure someone was on top. I get it, Pascal.
It's my fault too, because I zeroed the rifle for her before we left. And when I got home, I noticed that it's a 1022. The barrel was a little loose. So I was like, oh, this is not good, right? But I thought I just gave it a little bit. I cranked it to 20 inch-pounds, and that made like $1.5 million difference or something like that. So Pascal was doing the mental math all day long on Saturday, subtracting or adding, I can't remember. the extra 1.5. So that was a bad start for her. She did much better on Sunday.
Yeah,
that happens.
She's a trooper too. Like she never complains. Like the weather is either like scalding hot or brutal.
And she has shot with us or PS in sub 30 degrees, and she never complains. Once I was compiling the scores at the end of the match, and she sat in my car because the heater was on. But normally she's tougher than quite a few guys that are on that line.
That'd be me in the trailer with my diesel heater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pascal says here, wait until you see her new rifle. She's also getting a B14R with a carbon barrel. Yeah.
Holy cow! Upgrade.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of it.
With a freaking Night Force on top. I shot it this evening. It's amazing.
Oh, nice! It's in an MDT chassis, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
The LSS maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
LSS or ESS? I can't remember.
LSS. LSS. It's a
very nice package.
The light one. Yeah.
I like the LSS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had my T3 actions in the LSS. The T1X doesn't fit because of the magwell. I just need to mill out some metal out of the magwell to make it fit. That would be a nice, light, perfect little production rig. Sorry, but match
no, not production.
Match administrators can shoot whatever they want. It's for testing purposes only. We're shooting for honors, not points. Yeah, I know. That'd be awesome.
In the stealth division.
Stealth. Yeah. Oh, that's the way to do it. I'll just shoot stealth. Oh man. Yeah.
I'm excited for these upcoming events because our spring was basically canceled, and now I have a Maple Seed, I have an ORPS, and 2 NRS matches in August. Like, it's going to be pretty good.
Are you coming down, Matt?
Well, I should say 2 NRS available to shoot. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, okay.
I want to. Yeah. Because your place is always a great match. Yeah.
The match director's
running out of weekends. Just get busy between family vacations and things.
Yeah, Tony's asking about the 1500 MSRP all in for production limits. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. It just becomes a administrative nightmare. Isn't it?
That would be USD as well, right?
Yeah, that would be USD. Yeah. So right now we're sitting at 1300, 7 plus 5, right?
Yeah.
That opens it up quite a bit.
But it is strict, right? Like it has to be optics below 700. Like you can't mix and match to be within 1300. It has to be optics 700, rifle 500. Is that how it works?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I knew that the numbers. I didn't know the sub paragraphs on the clause.
Oh, like no, they do one number count both. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, here
but for us it's split.
Yeah, you have a rifle and optic limit.
Yeah.
7 plus 5 equals 12.
Gee, is there an accountant in the audience?
Thanks, Pascal.
Thanks, Pascal. Yeah, like production. So the whole thing about the production thing, like we keep raising the bar. Like right now we've got T1Xs and CZ457s in production. Like I don't know how much more we could open it up. I mean, at that point we're going to see LRPs in production. You know,
no, that wouldn't make any sense.
I know, but there's a threshold, right? That like the Venom is right under there.
Yeah.
So,
and then
maybe they want to spend more on the rifle. Like it gets crazier because then you guys get Bergara shooting in there, right? I don't know.
Well, isn't Bergara coming out with a production?
The micro rimfire, yeah, we're still waiting for that one.
I think it's called the BXR maybe or something like that.
No, the BXR is their 1022.
The semi-auto.
Oh.
There's another one coming.
Yeah. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
But that one takes it's a micro action, but it takes 700 triggers. So if you want to stay in production, I would assume you can't change the trigger, right?
Correct, because it becomes gamer. And Jonathan, exactly. Johnson raised the point of how do we differentiate novice versus experienced other
We've
than
had
price.
this discussion.
It is so challenging. Well, it's doable. It just becomes an administrative nightmare. And when you're dealing with a small administrative staff, it's problematic.
So I think the issue here was you could do it based on the amount of matches they shoot, but then you have to track that. Or you can say your first season you're a novice, but then what if you only shoot 1 or 2 matches in your first season, right?
Yeah, the way we got around that was through the shooter scorecard that John puts out, which is you just monitor your performance relative to your class and track it that way. Like, is a 4-year shooter that doesn't perform well a novice? Or the experienced shooter. So then
experienced or shooter, yeah, okay.
Yeah, then you'll have those debates of I've shot off and it's not my first match. I get the whole first year thing. I mean, that's your rookie year, right? That's okay. But then there's another. Do you have a rookie production and a rookie open? But from our side, then how many medals do I have to bring to an event?
Right.
Right. Yeah. And does it really matter when you start slicing it that much? Like our goal is, hey, production open, youth, have a good time, right? If you love it, come back. If it's not for you, did you not like it because you didn't get a medal or, that whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the guys come in and even, I mean, from what I see at Stittsville, even a lot of first-time shooters come in with well into the open category first-time rate.
Yeah, for sure.
So they spend a lot of time on YouTube and stuff looking at equipment and save their pennies, and then they come in swinging.
Like Sammy Oscar Mike with his Tangent Theta Rim X ACC with a custom paint job. Still the nicest rifle setup I've seen in my whole life, period.
He was beautiful. At Magneto One, wasn't he? I think he was.
I'm not possibly. He's started that 3-gun series too.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So Sammy, Oscar, Mike, I'm jealous. Keep an eye on your rifle, buddy. It's easy to spot though. It's that gray with the silver maple leaf.
Yeah. Okay, he was at Magneto One because I noticed that rifle on the ground when I was walking by. I was like, oh, that's a nice little rig. Little Theta on the top there.
Yeah, that's the first thing you notice. Wow, like the paint job first. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the NRA classification, John. So I'll have to do some digging. Yeah, and people who sandbag, there'll be a few. There's gamers gonna game, but
yeah, gamers gonna game and sandbaggers gonna sand.
yeah, they're gonna sand but it's a small community here, so
we can just call people out, be like, hey,
they're just calling, hey,
open, bud.
yeah. 15 of us have voted. You're now open.
Well, that's kind of what we did to Pascal Thomas. Although he's still production for ORPS right now. It's funny because he just commented, "Shooting production is humbling." I don't know what he means by that because he's getting in terms of equipment choices. Or
no, but the equipment is not there to help you. Like it's what I was talking about earlier. Like my B-22's got a pretty decent little bounce every time I pull the trigger. Okay. I think it stresses your fundamental a lot more than if you have more weight, which becomes more forgiving. That to me, that was the biggest contrast. As soon as I upgraded my rifle in terms of the weight of it, it made a huge difference. Still middle of the pack, but I shoot better.
Yeah, but so the thing is with the larger, so ORPS, I would say there's a decent amount of production shooters, but when you step up to CRPS or NRS, the amount of production shooters is 2 or 3, right? So it's not as much of a competitive field, unfortunately, but I think it's also because the people shooting the larger matches are generally more experienced, and the more experienced shooters tend to buy the nicer equipment. So it's
that's an interesting question. We're kind of shifting away from the match recap here, but what if you just went rookie and open, right? Your first year, you're in rookie, and after that, you're all in the swimming with the sharks.
And honestly, it wouldn't change much because right now, most of the people are in open anyway. right?
And if it's your first year, and
if I think about the 2 production shooters that were at the Magneto One match, it was their first year. So it's basically what it is right now.
Pascal's going, wait, guys, let's think about this. I don't know. I mean, it's food for thought, right? It's food for thought.
I think it would be an amazing experiment.
But what's the goal? The goal is to try and get more people into the sport, and are people not starting because there's no rookie class, right? That's what I always look at, and then just say they just suffer like everybody else. Like I've got a nice rifle. I'm gonna shoot open, and I'm gonna get my butt handed to me. But hey, guess what? No matter what you shoot, you're gonna get your butt handed to you anyway. And that's the first thing people have to recognize, is that you're not gonna win. No matter what class I put you in, you're not gonna win. So just have a good time and learn, right?
Unfortunately for him, Matt videos all his progress. So if you go back to his first winter match, you'll see. We all start there. It's a tough match. Right, Matt?
Yeah, and then people are saying so. Steve and John are saying, people are intimidated and don't want to suck, and they get discouraged too easily, and that's absolutely right. But no matter what class I put, we have a stealth division, which is we don't monitor, we don't. You're not in the normal scoring, so we created a stealth, which is, hey, you're in there, so you shoot for fun, but we don't put you in production or open. So that's kind of a way to get around that. But I don't know if that works or not. So we're trying it this year as an experiment.
I'm going to add to that. People don't want to feel like they're not doing well and all this stuff. The match director has a responsibility, and that's the reason why you'll see, especially with the ORPS courses, you'll have a 3-inch target at 50, and then all of a sudden a little 2-inch at 100. But at that 2-inch at 100 is so that everybody get lots of hits, because that's what you come to a match for. You want to ring some steel, but we still need to be able to put a little bit of distance between the top shooters. But that's usually 1 or 2 targets really in a match. The rest is pretty accessible. So.
Yeah. I mean, Rob's saying that the A to D classification works, and that's a shooter scorecard, so you can track your progress. It becomes harder to manage that at a match, because that's when you'll get. So the thing about the ADD classification.
Oh, you see that?
Are you reading that now?
I'm going to call him pretty soon. Like he needs to go to
bed. Pascal. So basically, I think
Pascal. I think Avery's calling you. Go.
Thomas and Pascal, nice. Yeah, like neck and neck all the time.
And I guess not Pascal, so much last week at the match, but usually
we had a little competition between Pascal and I, because the first day we finished pretty close. So the second day, Pascal, just for fun, he's like, "Hey, I'm going to try and beat you today. Put a little bit of pressure on me." So it was fun, but I still beat him.
So. Good that second day.
He was shooting well too. Yeah, I was a bit scared.
You felt threatened for a moment there.
Yeah, I did. I felt threatened. I was like, "Oh, okay. Like this is a fun little competition we're doing."
Yeah. Well, Steven's saying putting more emphasis on how friendly and welcoming the community is, so when they get there, they don't see $250,000 in equipment and feel bad about their stock 1022. And I thought we've been doing a great job at telling people that the community is there, and that we have a match rifle loaner program and a mentorship program. So if you are coming out to one of the CRPS matches whenever they get started again, you can borrow a rifle with ammo, with the dope, and you can get an experienced shooter working with you that entire time, showing you all of the things you need to worry about, all the things you need to know, kind of demystify and de-stress, more importantly, the shooter as they go through their day. So a lot of that is there, but I still think people, bring it on themselves, that performance anxiety of, I want to do well, regardless of how much they've experienced or how well they're prepped. I think everyone needs to, my biggest advice is go in with the expectation based on the level of preparation you've put into it. If you shot 100 rounds this year, don't expect to do well, regardless of how much you've spent. But if you've put 5,000 rounds downrange with your Savage Mark II, then you probably know what's going on. And all you need to know is how the game is played, because it's a game, right? So
I'll also
and like the do well thing is very subjective because like Kevin got 28, like my buddy Kevin, he got 28 points, and that's well for a first. No, 20. I'm saying that wrong. Oh,
it's 42 shooters.
Okay, that would make sense because he landed somewhere in the middle. No, 38.
That's great for a first time shooter.
And it's not like it's like there's all these guys and then way down here there's Kevin. It was right in the mix.
Yeah.
That's good. If you land somewhere in that 50%, like where Thomas did, no, Thomas is about that. You're 56. Like that is few people are able to do that at a match for their first time, and the guys that do have previous experience shooting. They have put time into it. So it all depends on what you call good. And I would say if you're in that, I don't know. I did more thinking about this before on percentages, but I forget what my numbers are now. But most guys do better than they think.
And well, honestly, like someone has to be on the bottom of the list. And if that's you and you're a new shooter, who cares? Like, go have fun, try and learn something because it's like any other sport. You're never going to feel ready for it. You just have to do it, right? So if you're in that mindset where you don't want to fail, well, guess what? You're going to fail. So you got to learn to accept your failure and try and do better from it. Especially
not a failure. Like you didn't rise up to the level you hope to achieve.
I'm not scared of the word fail.
The rocky. But I don't. When I go to a match for the first time, I achieve exactly what I expect.
Yeah, there's no failure. There's no failure.
There's no failure. Yeah, right.
You're right.
So
the failure comes later when you're doing well, and you only place 6th at a match. But the mental pressure that's on you, and it's totally different.
Yeah, so you failed, John.
You cannot fail that bad. Yeah, exactly. That is failure because
that's failure.
Everything is there. You can do better.
Yeah,
and you do it wrong.
See, and that's the thing. So the again, this is just my strategy. This is how I've kind of gone through when I was training for the national levels. It's my goal wasn't to win the match. My goal was to improve something at a match. So it's either work on, service rifle was pistol or is the movers or snaps and rapids or deliberates or something. It was every match I was working on something. And it wasn't the standing was going to sort itself out, but I was there to learn and improve on one thing. And that's what people need to think about is you don't go there to improve your placement at a match. You go there to improve your performance in the match. And that's where you got to pick something that you're going to work on and do better. And John, you were working on your mental game. That's great. Like you didn't get as far as you'd hoped, but you made a conscious effort at moving that needle, which is the key, right?
And Dan here put a really good comment. He hit steel past 200, which was a new personal best. So that's
exactly
right there. Yeah,
that's a victory lap.
Yeah.
So really, he won.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
He actually won it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. He achieved his objective, which is awesome. Hey, I noticed it was a Kevin Chu at the match. That's not the Kevin Chu from the Chu brothers, is it? Anybody know?
Don't know.
You're talking about the custom rifle Chu brothers?
Yeah, okay. Chu brothers.
I've never actually seen their face, so I don't know if it was him or not.
Okay. Asian guy, dark hair?
Yeah, that's about every Asian guy.
Okay. Could be him. It could be him.
It could be him, yeah.
It could be him. Could be me. Could be you, Matt.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just wondering. That'd be awesome if they were getting into Rimfire. Go ahead.
Steven brings up a very good point too. It's not a failure if you had fun.
That's right.
And that is something I've admittedly lost focus
on. Oh, John.
And
you're taking it too seriously, man.
Right?
The thrill is gone.
No, I wouldn't quite say that. But that is something that can be lost sight of, I think.
Yeah.
too easily.
And you know what, John? Not everyone is at the match for the same purpose. Like there are the competitive guys, and they're the guys that want to have fun, right? And that's totally
that
fine.
is very true.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the next match, so August 7th, if there's anyone there that's newer and wants to squad together, and I can try and teach you something, then I'm going to do that. We're going to leave I'm going to focus on having fun for a couple of matches.
There you
and then
go.
That's trying to win.
Awesome, John.
Nice.
Good for you, John. I'm glad
I can see that. I've kind of derailed myself, and so I want to do a bit of a reset. And get back.
That's good, John. Awesome. Good for you. So thanks for bearing your soul to Canada.
Yeah, that's kind of. No, I don't care.
At least 23 people in Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw. Oh wait, I think Rick commented on John Okab's mental strength comment, but I think we've touched on that before. Like your mental game is what separates like the top 3 from the top 10 shooters, right? So I think he nailed it.
Yeah.
It's key. But
because like Yannick on day 1, he had a rough start to the day, and he had swapped out his scopes, and mount height was different. Running? He had his razor on.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so his mount height is different, and he didn't change that in his app. So with a higher mount, you actually require to dial less for different distances. Anyway, so he was missing. He's like, something's going on. Finally, he figured out what was going on. He changed it. And then we talked to him after the mover. So that was 4 stages. So in 40-ish points, he dropped 1. So he goes from having not the best day to he's figured it out, and then boom, right there. Like mentally, he that first half that didn't mess him up.
That's
right?
Crazy. Yeah. And he ended the day with 91 points.
That was the second day.
Oh, what was the
day 1? He only had 84.
Oh, only
because Kevin was 83, he had 84.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was mentally stable, so once his problem was fixed, he could bring it back, right?
Nice. I wonder why he's not running the Cronus anymore.
He messed up the 0 stop.
Oh, he broke it. Oh.
Interesting. Hey, John, I have a technical question for you. You said you have to measure your scope height from your bore.
Yeah.
If you have a severe cant, are you measuring it here, or there? Because it's higher here than it is there. So where are you measuring your height over bore for your scope?
Elevator.
I would be of the opinion, but I can't prove this. I've done some experimenting, and my experimenting would say from the objective.
From the
reticle.
Okay.
From the reticle?
No,
the reticle is like in the middle somewhere, right?
Yeah, because the last lens that it comes through is where it's going to go from. And I also believe that holds true for checking your graduation, like your click values or your reticle value. It has to be from the last lens. Is that actual scientific truth? I don't know, but that's where I have the most consistent results across a large variety of scopes.
This is awesome. Hashtag 60 MOA problems.
Well, I have 60 MOA. That's why I know.
I know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's why I was dread. I don't know this Carl guy. I'm gonna have to find him and give him a kick in the pants.
Carl is awesome. Carl is awesome.
I don't have a face for him. You gotta have to come say hi to me sometime, Carl.
You have to drive.
See it west.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Okab is running 60 MOA now with the ECO, I think. Yeah, he got a new scope.
Oh yeah, because he couldn't do it with the Collis before.
Yeah, or he could, but he was like right at the bottom of his elevation, I think.
Right.
So, yeah.
Hey Andre, what am I looking for, man? I didn't see anything in my inbox.
Wilfred is asking, where are you measuring your distance to target? Measure scope height.
True. So from
New
the muzzle.
Brunswick outlaw match guy. So that would be the same as a Newfie? Not quite.
No. A Newbury.
how much internal elevation does the Collis have? The K525. It's like 28 mils, is it? Is it more than 30? I guess it's not. Huh.
I doubt it if you can't with a 60 MOA.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen the zero comp yet.
Oh, so it is 29. Okay, that makes sense because this isn't the scope, but my Aries is 32, and I'm still like 3 or 4 mils from the bottom with my 60 MOA. That's at 50 yards though.
But that's only a tenth of a mil.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So, Rick, any news on the March scopes that are supposed to come in? Do you have them yet?
I have them. I am.
Oh, you
waiting.
have the March scopes. Okay.
I have the March scopes. They're here. I got them right here. I am waiting for a
show a box.
Hang on.
Oh, this is exciting. This is gonna be cool. I've never seen a March scope in person ever.
Yeah, me neither.
So let me. So here's.
Oh, look at that minimalistic design.
Can't see this. That's not going to focus.
What is that?
Let's see, 3 to 24 by 52.
Is that the super?
By 52, that's interesting. That's a little different.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not.
This is the
there we go.
This is what you want.
Not even open yet. My God.
Jeez.
It's 4 to 40 by 52.
4 to 40. That's it. That's a crazy magnification range. You must have some intense optics going on.
Yeah, I didn't want to open it because these are probably the most expensive optics I've ever had in my hands. So I'm waiting for a package from Chilliwack, BC to arrive, and then we're gonna mount them up, and then we're gonna spend a day at the range, burn them through all of Ely's donations.
So what scope mounts are you putting those in?
March provided the scope mounts.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's going to be a setup. That's
and they've
awesome.
told me.
So does March actually make them? Make scope mounts?
I don't know. But they provided them, and
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question because I know ZCO outsources their rings to Vortex, I think, or something like that.
Well, Vortex would get them from. Well, it depends which one, but yeah.
Huh. Oh, did I?
No, I didn't know there was any March branded mounts, but there might be.
Did I tell you I recently got a spur mount, John? Oh, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you're coming around.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you get a spur mount? Spur mounts are the best.
It was on the fence about it for a while, but of course,
why?
Whatever amount of dollars. But I found one on the equipment exchange on Gun Nuts. I bought it from one of the guys at EM Precision.
Okay.
So I saved a whole whackload of money, so I just bought it. It was the exact model I wanted to. So
nice.
Yeah.
Was spur spelled with an H in there?
Yes. Yeah. It's not some Chinese knockoff. This isn't. Yeah. No, it's not a Chinese special. Oh, it's made by Seekins.
Yeah. As far as I know, they still are.
Interesting.
Yeah, their monolithic rings are pretty good. We've got a set of 34 mils that we're running for. I think it's on the Strike Eagle right now. I can't remember.
Yes, they are. I remember their weird geometric design when I was bordering it. Yeah.
Because those are perfect because they have the caps that'll do a 45-degree mount.
Yeah.
Perfect for red dots. Perfect for red dots. If someone wants to use them for red dots. So yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting the delivery from Deuce. I want to drop the Deuce.
You want to drop the Deuce? Nice.
I want to drop the Deuce.
Yeah, I'm sweet.
Do you have a delivery yet?
No, I'm
okay.
But it's shipped, right?
I don't know. Derek said it was going to go out.
Oh, but does IBI still have to barrel it with the 1 in 12 twist?
I'm getting 1 in 1/16 and 1 in 1 in 12. So one might ship earlier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So these are going to be the ELR rifles.
Oh, and those are going to ACCs? What chassis are they?
ACCs. Wow. Yep.
Hey, if you need someone to test one of those Deuces for you, let me know.
Yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of patches made up. For anyone that tries out the Deuce, I just dropped the Deuce patch. Drop the deuce,
That's
two
awesome.
fingers.
It's really cool they're finally shipping, because after that whole thing, like, it's nice to see them in the wilds shortly anyway.
I know. It still is right now, Jonathan. It still is. We're just waiting.
The deuce was almost becoming vaporware. Like, actually, though, there is some
it's 2 years.
Jumping ship.
It's 2 years, because I visited them in November of 2019, and I had the prototype in my hands and said, "This looks great. When are they coming?" December.
COVID.
Soon, and then boom, stuff happens. That but sucks. Hey, I'm glad everything's sorted out. Hopefully it works out. Fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
The deuces don't become a deuce.
A deuce. No. Positive thoughts. Yes,
it's gonna be
awesome.
Positive thoughts.
It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I know Ryan really likes his. And,
yeah.
And he's been shooting it for months, like 8 months or something.
Yeah.
He's over 7,000 rounds through it, and he's never had a failure to extract or eject.
Man, that's real
dream
right there.
The dream.
Yeah. Do I see a deuce in my future?
No, you had your chance, Matt. you had your chance.
If only I had waited one more month, I could have maybe had a deuce.
Yeah. But that 360 though, come on. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
no, I will say this though. I think Voodoo will fix it. I think, hopefully. And if they do, it is my dream build. Like that Voodoo 360, when I'm behind the rifle, it is everything I want. Unfortunately, it doesn't eject all the time. That's all I have to say.
They're gonna fix it. There's no way they're not gonna fix it, right?
Matt, have you videoed it actually failing to double check that it does not hit your mount?
Okay, it doesn't, because when it was happening, I was still using my Elite rings.
Okay.
So it's not the mount. The mount I put on there, but it doesn't affect anything. And I haven't had the failure in slow motion yet, but I've had it a bunch in my match footage.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. And I'm in contact with Voodoo. Granted, they're pretty slow in emailing me, so I might just call them up tomorrow or something and get it figured out. Because as much as I love my CZ and running it, like the Voodoo is a new rifle, right? Like I want to be using it. And it sucks that I can't use it in matches.
But you got the new barrel on the CZ.
Yeah, this thing's pretty slick. Yeah, I have nothing to complain about, to be honest.
That's like the ex-girlfriend in a new dress. It's like, no.
Yeah, no, but honestly, the Voodoo feels great. Like if it was working 100%, it would be my dream rifle. So I'm hoping it gets there. Essentially,
it is your dream rifle. Positive thoughts, man. It is
my dream rifle. I just got to tweak it.
Here's the thing. They can't not fix it, right? They can't not fix it. It's just not. You're gonna get the 3.5 version.
Yeah, 3.2 I think is what they were called.
3.2. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. But it's pretty sexy. I mean, that was the game changer when they came out with that 60 degree. I said,
that's what made me go for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Degree. And not to knock on the deuce because I haven't seen it yet, but the scope rail they put on it has a notch, so you can't use a spur mount on it. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. You can only use rings, I guess. But
it'll fit, but whether the recoil lug won't actually be in a groove.
Okay.
Yeah. Originally, it wasn't notched down, and then it wouldn't have been able to fit on.
Oh, they changed.
They fixed that. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it's not a big issue.
So
Dan, the only ORPS events near Muskoka is Sudbury. Did I put that on the calendar? Yeah.
Huh.
Rifles and reels? Yeah. I got to update the calendar this weekend.
You can throw Stittsville in there.
As soon as you send me the date, Thomas, I will.
No,
officially. This hearsay and speculation on the podcast.
I was also thinking the other day, since the CRPS season was basically destroyed in the spring.
Yes, thank you, Matt. I'm not at all sensitive about that.
Assuming they're a go in the future.
Yep.
I don't know what's beeping. I hope you don't hear that. Anyway, assuming they're a go in the future, wouldn't it be cool to have like a winter season for a CRPS? Like everything is shot in the winter. That'd be pretty cool.
I've done those matches. Yeah. The unpredictability of how much snow you're going to get and the type of wind you're going to get is the only thing that terrifies me. I don't mind the cold. I really don't mind the cold. but it's the snowfall. That's
the traveling. Yeah, you're right.
Because you guys had a pretty rough time at Valcartier there.
That is I've got PTSD from that event.
Yeah, because we were gonna have that match here in February, and then COVID came along, and that day it was like 15 plus mile an hour winds, drifting snow running right across the fields. It would have been absolutely brutal. And I stood out in the yard. I looked at that. It's like, man, am I glad COVID came.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to cry about it much. Yannick was right. I'm going to have to admit it. Not happening.
Steve Barks here looks like he also has PTSD from Valcartier.
Oh man, the guys that shot that match need like a patch. Like I was their patch.
Was that the match where the actions were freezing shut and people had to like mortar their rifles open or something?
Yeah, because you'd get snow blowing in and it would melt on the hot action and then freeze, so you couldn't get the next round to chamber. Like, actually, I'll look at the score from that match and I'll tell you the winning score.
It's gonna be like 20 or something.
Yeah, because I asked him, I say, "What's going on? Your top shooter got like 11%."
No,
something's wrong here. He's like,
okay, so the winner scored 13 points.
Jeez.
So it was Marc-Andre Pelletier, Donald Boulerice, and Kevin Niedzwitz, JP Noel, and Yannick came in 5th, the loser.
Hey man, those other shooters you named are very, very.
I know, but what a day! And you know what? I feel sorry for like the 5 first-time shooters that showed up. It's like, what is this? Never saw them again.
You can't even blame them.
No. Yeah.
Oh, Rick. You're on Instagram. Do you know? If you don't, this is totally useless. But do you know Utah_Pew_Pew?
Nope.
On Instagram. Her daughter or his daughter is Long Range Lexi. I don't know if you know. It probably. Yeah. So
that sounds familiar.
Boyd. His name's Boyd Linder, and he's a center fire shooter. He also shoots rimfire. Anyway, he's from Utah, obviously, and he contacted me because of my videos on YouTube, and he said, "Hey, your matches up there in Canada look like a lot of fun. Like, which matches should I come up to?" So I was like, "That's pretty cool, like a Utah shooter coming up." And I told him like the weekend matches where it's a 2-day event, it's probably more worth your travel time.
Season finales.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be cool if you get some US shooters up. Try out a Canadian match, see what they think. Because no offense to NRL 22X, but looking at their match, like 70% of the stages are in prone. Whereas I don't think we've had a prone stage in a long time. So it'd be interesting to see what see what they think.
Yeah.
And actually, even Jonathan Ocab, if he's still watching, like, come up to Canada, man. Like, we'd love to host a match for you. That'd be awesome.
That SoCal weather it's a little different up here.
Yeah.
Well, if you come in the middle of the summer, then you'd only need a sweater.
Right.
Yeah. Or a parka. It depends on the day.
Yeah. But it would be cool to get their perspective because, over there, they focus a lot on center fire, right? But just because of our availability and everything, like rimfire is where it's at. So
for us being the
Rimfire Nation podcast, yes, it is.
I would really enjoy shooting against guys down, and it's another thing I realized at the Magneto One match. So Caledonia is down here. You've got the Quebec guys who are probably our best guys consistently, and East here. If they don't come, to me, it's actually there's an element missing because that's really what we're striving for, right? And I don't know, that's something else that I realized in this weekend. It's important to me that there's good people there. There's high level shooters. And so it would be interesting to travel south and see what their high level shooters are like, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
We'll meet them where we can drive, like Vermont, upstate New York. Some nice places.
Yeah.
You can drive, it's only a few hours.
Adam Cool was talking about a Rimfire finale in Texas or something like that. Like, we should get a Rimfire Nation crew down there and say, have a little Canadian team. That would be pretty neat if we're allowed to.
That'd be the PRS one, though.
Okay, right.
What if they have they must have an NRL 22 finale.
They did.
The championship just happened. What was it, in May, I think?
Yeah, end of May, because their season is May-June's flip rather than January or December-January.
Oh,
it's invite only. Okay, so to answer Jonathan O'Cab's questions, two things. Scared to fly with the rifle, that's fine. We got loaner voodoos and loaner high-end optics you can use. It'll just be like your ZCO. You'll be right at home on the rifle. And then Lapua, John shoots Lapua, don't you, John? Oh no, you shoot.
No, I shoot.
But we can get it.
Yeah. No, you can bring ammo in.
Yeah.
Plus the sponsor of the Rimfire Nation Podcast is a big Lapua dealer.
Yeah.
Tesro.ca.
Now, if you're to try to take down 100,000 rounds, they might look at you twice, maybe even 3 times. But I've crossed with ammo before, but that's coming this way.
Yeah, both ways.
I think you just have to declare it properly. Right?
You just have to declare it. Yeah.
It has to be more unloaded in the original box or something like that.
Yeah, it's more complicated going into the States because we have to get pre-cleared by the ATF with a Form 6. But I think here you just say, I'm bringing in firearms, here's what they are. I don't think there's a need to pre-clear firearms coming in. So, yeah, it'd be cool.
I can't speak to flying, but I know crossing, like driving, is very, very simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Just register what you said, John. Like you've driven across the border with. Guns. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that was one of the easiest border. Well, I drove highway tractor for a number of years. That's easy crossing the border. Personal crossings, pain. Easiest personal crossing I've ever had. There was guns in the truck.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to go.
That's totally serious, but we were used to dealing with customs. And it was a buddy of mine, like Kevin. We were going down for a hunt, and we know what we're doing. Go deal with the people. You got your paperwork in order. You're dealing with something more complicated, so you get the better people. And
interesting. Yep. That's actually a good point. Yeah, they don't let the rookies look at the guys coming over with the guns. So
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. As long as your paperwork's in order. I mean, they've never even, like the 4 times I've crossed, they've never checked my paperwork. I've got it. It's in a binder if you want to see it. No, driving. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
But your mileage may vary.
Yeah, I don't think Jonathan O'Cab's going to drive from California up to Ontario.
For 2 days.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
No,
all right. What else, guys?
Fly. He should fly.
Yeah, fly. He should fly. Yeah. All right, where are we at? We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes. This was supposed to be a short, quick chat. Lapua ammo at Hirsch Precision, yes. Peter.
And there's always guys that shoot Lapua at the matches too.
Yeah.
Like Lapua and SK are probably most popular.
Don't know if they have the same lot that you like though, but who knows? Jonathan sounds like he's a lot number kind of guy.
I wonder if he ever brought his rifle to the Lapua testing center, because he mentioned that in one of his old vlogs. He was going to do that.
We have a Ely testing center. You know, the only thing stopping us from bringing our rifles to Ely testing center is a bench block to hold the action.
What do you mean that's the only thing stopping you?
So they have the fixture for certain actions like anshoots.
Oh,
but they don't have REM 700.
Interesting.
So they're very Olympic oriented, but
because it's
show up with a CZ.
Yeah.
Or...
So if some enterprising CAD cam guy can just mill out a block, it just has to be a square block that holds the rifle. 2 action screws. They just put it in their vise and off to the races. But no one's done it yet. I've told a couple of manufacturers, but I'm not interested.
It is interesting because in our sport, in PRS style rimfire, I feel like SK is much more popular for some reason. I don't know if it's because of Ely's concentration on Olympic style rimfire, but
because it's less confusing. Like have you gone through the Ely catalog like as a first time shooter?
That's true. Yeah.
Right. There's club, and then it just goes into a million different directions.
Just keep it simple for us. Good, better, and
best.
So,
SK standard, and then rifle match, right? Long range, right?
Yeah. High velocity. Yeah, their names.
High velocity. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Club, sport, like contact.
What action?
Action. Yeah.
Match is good, and there's 10x.
Yeah,
Sorry,
what is all this stuff?
But it's too late now. I know you can't change it.
Yeah.
But then there's the Force. Everyone uses the Force, so.
Well, not anymore. We trash talk Force a lot.
It's the 338 Lapua of Rimfire ammo.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna shoot Force at the next match just to annoy you.
It doesn't matter, John, because your barrel isn't 16 inches. So.
Yeah, I know. That's very true. It makes a big difference.
It does.
There was a year where Force was just.
I personally think a lot of people do not realize how good Ely is, and I think we'll just keep it that way.
No. My sponsor says no.
Makes it easier for John and I to get lost.
The issue is there's a couple of guys have caught on. They're religious Lapua shooters, and then they decide they're going to test contact. And at 50 yards, the Lapua was better, but at 200 yards, the contact was consistently better. So
yeah, that's the thing. A lot of guys don't test the distance, and a lot of guys can't, which is unfortunate. But if you're serious about competing, you need to test it at least 100 and 200 if you can, and then you'll be able to pick.
But Ely definitely makes ammo as good as your SK counterparts.
I have no doubts about that, but I have a confession. A large reason why I don't shoot Ely is because of their stupid boxes with the sticker that's hard to open. Like SK just open it.
You have to pick your evil. SK's got this weird oil on this stuff, and you have to wash your hands between stages.
It's because you don't know how to use the box properly, Matt. And,
I don't have any fingernails to like open the stupid sticker. I'm always carrying like my knife to open the Ely box. It's just and then once the top slides on and off, it doesn't stay on the box very well. So it's actually a factor.
Well, if you shoot 10x, you get the fancy boxes.
You're right. Yeah, but 10x is also like $1 bazillion a brick. So
that's good.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah. Oh. I've never tried RWS.
We just don't see it.
It's hard to find exactly. Yeah.
It's I can see it every now and again, but then I say, well, if I only see 2 boxes on the shelf, even if it's great, I won't be able to get any more. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a true point.
So I'll stick to my CCI standard velocity by the case.
Can't beat the value.
Can't beat the value. That's what Rob Longridge was using for his first CRPS experience.
Yeah, and Russ Rodriguez, I believe his last name. He was also shooting CCI at the Magneto One match.
Yeah,
that's a Kevin shot.
And the dope was solid on those T1Xs when we had the dope charts. Yeah. It was bang on, consistent. I'm telling you, people, you don't have to spend much. You can if you want to, but you really don't have to. Said all of us who are now running like $5,000 rigs.
What's the Ely equivalent of Center X?
Match.
Match.
Is it called match or edge?
Match.
Or where does edge fit?
See, there we go. Which one's a downgraded version of that?
Well, because with if you want to take your top 3, you'd have your 10x and then your match and then your edge.
Yeah.
But the match would be Center X price range.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So they really only have the 10x and the match.
Right. But because Lapua has Center X, Midas Plus, and then Exact. So they have 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've shot edge and it shot very well. In my Ruger, I shot a lot of edge actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never send us edge.
They send you a lot of contact, right?
Contact action, match, 10x. Like 2 years ago when Force was coming in, we got all we got was Force.
John, what is your go-to Ely for your Rimex?
contact.
Oh, it is contact. Okay.
Yeah. And that holds the same. The Ruger, same thing. The contact shoots the best. If we're talking 200 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But having said that, like, your rifle match is very, very close to the same. But the Center X doesn't shoot.
Why is there a hate for
and the Elite 10X doesn't shoot, so
I'll tell you why there's hate for Force. It breaks targets. Hate it.
Match directors hate Force because up close it just destroys our targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using mild steel for these rimfire matches, so it just dents them.
Oh no! AR 500
destroyed the AR too. It cracked them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just hammers it until it just fractures. I mean, mind you, these were the sets I bring everywhere, right? So 15 matches a year. So by the second year, we were starting to get fractures on the popular, easy to hit targets on the KYLs. So we'd have to stock up on.
As a competitor and not a director, the reason why competitors hate it is because then we have to wear ear pro at the matches. People are shooting Force
and those really short barrels
and muzzle brakes.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Force was pretty good. I liked shooting Force. Didn't shoot well
it is a joke.
Like,
if it works well for you, by all means, shoot Force. Like, it's not a big deal. We just like to tease it.
Yeah, it's like the 42 grain juggernaut. 42 grains and high velocity?
Yes. It's like it's a heavy bullet traveling super fast, and it's just like it's insane.
Yeah.
There was a guy shooting Force at the Battle Hill match, and I kid you not, I thought someone was using a center fire. I was like, this is a rimfire match, like, what are you doing? It just sounded so loud.
Or a 22 Magnum. Yeah.
Well, there is at least one very hot lot, and some guys are getting up to 1,300 feet per second.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But I would say that almost all the Ely I have, whether it's club, contact, we'll take Force out of it, all shoots 1,100 and up. Like, it's really flirting with that sound barrier.
It's that 4.57 match chamber.
No, even in the beach.
In general, they're fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting because in the winter our velocities drop. So I wonder if it's worth just picking up, like, switching to Ely in the winter to retain some velocity.
Your Ely is not as temperature sensitive either.
Interesting.
Like, you're not going to have the drastic drop in freezing. You're going to still have a drop, but like your SK stuff pretty much just goes to bed.
Yes.
And the Ely is not as sensitive.
Last winter, before you got the red box, your Ely Sport was shooting pretty well. I remember, like, SDs in the 9 and the 8s.
Yep. Yeah, I actually really liked Sport in the 457 when I was shooting it. It was shot well, but then Stittsville ran out of it, and that's when I switched to SK. Yeah. Yeah, it always sucks when you can't find ammo. You have to kind of make do with whatever. And then that's when I bought 20,000 rounds. So
we had a good run at that Sport. I think we all tapped into that lot, and then it just dried.
Exactly.
So here's a question, Matt. What's your run right now? How much runway do you have now on that ammo you bought? Do you still have as much as you thought you'd have? Or are you burning through it at a faster pace?
I'm actually burning through it faster because I didn't take into account shooting with Kevin because that started up more so this year. And we
getting
go
a
every
barrel
single
tuner.
week. Yeah, exactly. And we go every single week. So I don't know exactly how many rounds I have this year already, but I just reorganized my ammo safe because I got some lots of long range match, and I was like, this is all the rifle match I have left. Like where's it all going? Oh my gosh. So
yeah.
On the biathlon, I've tried a few biathlons, and I would say if it's above minus 15, minus 10 Celsius, then I don't know why you would, because it's never shot as good for me as the regular stuff. And I do not see a degradation in group size at 200 yards down to minus 10. And then it's only some ammo. Like below minus 10, that's usually your cheaper stuff that doesn't shoot well. At 50 yards, bench rest type, yeah, sure, maybe. But for CRPS NRL 22X, don't worry about it. Test it, check it for yourself, but I sure wouldn't stress about it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
So next week we talk about the match.
We did. It was hot. It was long. There were bugs.
Yeah.
It was harder on day 1. It was easier on day 2. John had a mental meltdown, but he's taking care of himself now. He's gonna play for the love of the sport now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's gonna talk to Mike Bush for a few more days, get that sorted out. Thomas is gonna get used to his ACC and his thumb rest.
Yes.
And I'm gonna get to a match eventually.
The August 7th match.
August 7th match.
We got to engage a target at 402 yards. I think that was
nice.
In the match context the farthest we've had so far.
I hit it once.
Did it?
Yes.
Hit it once?
Yeah. I was happy with that.
I think Kevin hit it every time.
Yeah. So we only took 2 shots at it for the entire match.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to hit it, and I hit it on my first shot, and then we had to transition positions, I think. Anyway, and then on the way back, I didn't hit it because I made a bad wind call.
Good. All right. 2 hours 25. Ooh. I'm going to call it, gentlemen. Another short night. Hey, shout out to Asmir Tesro for hanging on to my CZ P09 Cadet 22 LR pistol. I asked him, can you get mags? And he says, not sure. Then he texted me, I can get mags, which is great. So thanks, Asmir. So I'm going to plan on seeing you in the next few. I got to check the schedule. It's crazy right now. But
try hard on the 24th.
I'm going to try and come up on the 24th. That would be awesome. Get together with you guys. I'll wear my CRPS shirt for the first time.
Nice. All right. Yeah, nice. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks everybody for joining us. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the CRPS Canadian Rimfire Precision Series YouTube channel. Hit that little bell to be notified of when updated content is coming. And we are now going to be getting back to video production. I'm going to make time to get through all of the stuff that needs to get done. Hoping a Deuce would be in amongst those. But there's a ton from Grey Birch. There's a ton from Tandem Cross builds. IBI Precision build. There's going to be a ton of stuff there. So looking forward to it. Any shout outs for you guys? John? No?
Tom at Go Big Tactical. He's sending me my extractor for my Rimex.
Nice. Tom is solid. Tom is the man.
Yeah, no, I've had good success dealing with him.
Yeah, he's a straight shooter. I like Tom a lot. Yeah, we've worked closely this past year. Yep, very impressed. And that next day delivery, guys, if you are ever jonesing for your product and you're buying from Go Big, ask for next day delivery. I kid you not, it will come. If he makes the pickup, you can have your fancy doohickey the day after.
That's what happened with my Voodoo.
Before buyer's remorse sets in, you'll have it.
That's right. No, it's like that's the worst thing. You order and then you wait and you wait and you wait. Like 10 days. It's like, come on, man.
A year and
yeah. But that's like when Matt said, it's like, I'm gonna get everything from Go Big that way too. So my Rimex Action Extra Mags came
nice
next day, which is nice. So now I gotta send it back and get the IBI barrel put on it. No, I think I'm gonna have it. I think why Ryan wants you to ship the action to him is so he can laser engrave the caliber and all the details.
Oh, cool.
On the right orientation, so it's not rotated in a funny location because you don't know where it clocks. So anyway, doesn't matter. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Matt and Thomas, any shout outs for you guys?
Big shout out to all the people that commented this evening. It's kind of fun to keep it dynamic and keep the conversation going. And a quick little shout out to Rob Longbridge. I just realized that he was on our squad at the match. So it was nice meeting you in person.
Nice. Rob's a class act.
I'll give a quick shout out to Grey Birch because they're sending out the Fusion and the Foundation forend, and I'm excited for that. And I will also echo John's shout out to Tom because he's also sending me an extractor, but for the Voodoo.
Like, I've never had to replace a CZ457 extractor.
You are correct. Yes, I have also not had to do that.
Awesome, man.
Good night, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you on the firing line.
Over and out.